All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 44. It's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. It's the 2017 ILP holiday season finale. We got a ton of PUBG to talk about, NPD results, the latest Bungie weekly update, the Xbox party chat on Android and iOS to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. So let's introduce those usual suspects at the round table. Uh-oh, look who jumped in the back door. Is that the birthday boy? Is that the birthday boy? He in there, I don't hear him. No doubt. So we got my co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, and the howl of the young wolf. My man, Lord Addict, how are you doing, sir? If your mic's unmuted, please unmute it.
Can you guys hear me?
I hear you now. There you go.
No, pretty good.
What's going on? The big 2-6 out here in these streets moving. What's going on?
Nothing much. Just chilling.
So enthusiastic. So enthusiastic. This
feel a year older.
Like he aged 400 years. Just chilling.
No doubt. We got to do the birthday. Also, we got another birthday we want to shout out too.
Sure, you would know all about that, King.
Oh my God! There you go. There you go. That's the line.
I'm glad that you do know that. I'm surprised that you made it in the door. Come sliding in the hair like you're on roller skates. Excuse me, my birthday. Hi, hello.
That's because some of us were born, they made swords and shit. Don't mean that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you and your lightsaber, you try hard.
And of
lightsaber, I wouldn't be on this podcast. Okay.
Our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience. Semi-offline profile back again this week. Love it. Lord Sovereign, how you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic, man. Just chilling. Went to see Star Wars yesterday with the Lords, little Kaibatsu. Lord Marcus, Lord Marlonius,
Lord Marlonius, you know what I'm saying? In the spit out.
Lord True Propaganda, we missed you yesterday. If you're in the chat, we missed you yesterday. But yeah, it was fantastic, man. Star Wars. Oh man, I know there are differing opinions on what was going on in that movie.
What was your opinion? Not for the free opinion.
As not and far left, filthy Uber casual, I know a little bit about Star Wars. I would say this: It was slow in the beginning. I didn't really quite know where they were going with it, and then the moment Rey just dove headfirst into the dark side and just dove into that.
Oh wow! This nigga just sat there and said, "Hey, let me just blow it up." Hey, boom!
Boom! You might have breached the NDA. The NDA.
Yeah, okay, so beyond. Okay, let's just say that she's in her training. So let's say this. So there was a certain point that it picked up. It picked up.
Fair enough. It started out slow, then it picked up for you.
It was fantastic. Beyond that, I don't know what diehards are pissed off at. I know one particular scene some people are pissed off at, but
Yeah, that scene.
Yeah, I would say this: you can't be mad at the midichlorian count. That's all. It's midichlorian.
I'll never forget that line. Oh, the midichlorians. Oh my God. And of course, we have the excess gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports was a man of his convictions and demands nothing less than that premium experience.
Ooh.
Beloved. Lord King's in the building, y'all. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic on this glorious Sunday, the last Sunday of the 11 a.m. again. Oh, man, because I was getting no sleep. Holla. Oh, so last night in combat sports, I'm just gonna get to it. We have Billy Joe Saunders versus this try-hard fool that was talking all this mess, and he got his butt smacked. Shout out to Billy Joe Saunders at that WBO belt. Now go up against somebody credible so you can get beat. Lemieux is nothing. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, like, did you watch any UFC last night?
I missed it, Lord Saul. Put me on because I heard Daniels fought Lola, right?
Oh Lord, yeah, man. So
what happened?
So the top two matches. We had let's go with the main event first. So we had Dos Anjos versus Lawler. And what was supposed to be like a matchup for the ages. These two guys are animals, and Lawler's a beast. Lawler's a guy that does not ever quit. And
champion for a long time too.
Yeah, and to be honest, I have to say that Dos Anjos at welterweight is a big problem. This guy came to welterweight, and he is wrecking dudes. And I tell you this right now, it was competitive. Like Lawler was always in the fight, but he's become so one-dimensional that he just wants to knock you out, and sometimes that's to his detriment. So Dos Anjos is like, honestly, his cardio was ridiculous. He outpaced him. He out-attacked him. You could tell Lawler was winded by the end of the 5 rounds. And to be honest, it looks like it's once Woodley gets back from his surgery, this should be a great fight. I see this, Dos Anjos looking better at this weight than he did at, what is he, featherweight champ?
I forgot. Dos Anjos came. See, I remember him in the, what was it? Not maybe above feather, maybe right above there. Because I remember he was supposed to fight Conor at one point. That was supposed to be a super fight. And then that never happened, or he didn't make the weight, or something happened. I forgot. Yeah. But I remember him being a beast because he messed my man Pettis up, and I used to like Pettis. He destroyed Pettis.
Yeah, and so that would, to me, that's a big step up for Dos Anjos. He's a problem at welterweight. And then the co-main event where the knockout of the night occurred. Josh Emmett, who fights under Alpha Male, he came in. And he fought number 3 contender Ricardo Lamas. Like, Lamas has been around for a long time.
Yeah, I remember Lamas.
Never really been able to get over that hump to win that belt, to pick up that championship. He's always been good, but he's always kind of been on the cusp. And Josh Emmett just knocked him off that cusp. Smooth left hook to the tip of the chin, and Lamas went out. He was out before he hit
him with the llama.
Yeah, he hit him with the smooth llama. That's one of those where he was out before he hit the floor. His head bounced 3 times, and thankfully Emmett saw that and didn't follow up with ground and pound. Like, there was no need for it. He was out cold. But
the ref ain't do him like Overeem.
Oh no,
the ref was Overeem. The ref was watching the Overeem fight. Even the ref yelled out, "OS."
And it's funny because they always let them get that extra one, like when Head Dog got this.
Oh man, that's one of the ones I cringe at when I see that.
I don't like that when they give him the body. That's what I call it, the body. He's already bodied him, so you won't body him twice.
Yeah, I mean, with Lamas, you saw the leg twitching and all that, so it was it was a little scary. So thankfully that extra hits didn't go down, and that was pretty much it. And then we have Holmes and Cyborg coming up.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That's gonna be a big test because Cyborg's a big girl.
She is. She's a beast.
Look, Holmes is gonna get knocked out, but I just want to see how Cyborg does with it. Yeah.
You know what it is? Like Holmes has she has boxing movement, Muay Thai movement. So it's one of those things like Cyborg's full arsenal is going to be put to test because she's not going to just be able to stand in front of her and just wail away because Holly's not going to be there. She's going to move. So we'll see.
No doubt.
Look at that. I love when the participation of the fight game come through there. Awesome! It's awesome!
No doubt. And of course, Lord Cognito here spreading that gaming realness on the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So let's get into what the Lords are playing this week. Let's get to the birthday Lord on his born day. What have you been playing this week?
Just pretty much PUBG. That's all.
Oh, getting that PUBG, them chicken dinners. Any chicken dinners go down?
No, I've gotten the top 5 like 15 times, it feels like. I always get like sniped out of my chance to get the chicken dinner. So
no doubt. It's tough, man. It's tough. I definitely know what you're going through on that joint. No doubt. And Lord Sav, what have we been playing?
On the Switch, just some more Xenoblade, like just little by little on the Xenoblade. And on the console side, Assassin's Creed has my soul, as it always does when it comes out. And some PUBG. Definitely got some PUBG.
Wait, hold on. You play PUBG?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what he did to me. I'm gonna tell you what he did to me.
Oh yeah, that was best.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he did to me.
I played with you day one, Cognito. It was day one.
Yeah,
that's when I start drinking. I'll be forgetting stuff. We did it debut because that's what my man looked like, Little Worm. Yo,
everybody looked like Idris Elba.
You look like
your man look like Papoose.
Yeah, that intro was that. We're gonna get into PUBG. Lord King, what have you been playing this week?
PUBG, a full arsenal Destiny, Android Cactus, Assault Android Cactus. Forza. Boy, oh boy. That 60 frames true 4K, man. Because when you buy a 4K television, you want to say have true 4K. You don't buy a checkerboard television for that PlayStation experience.
They do that thing with it.
Nah, man. And that checkerboard stuff there, but that PUBG. Let me tell you what Sovereign did to me. So we got all the guns. Mm-hmm. We land. I'm like, yo, hey, grab your stuff up. We went in the house, got everything. All right, put your stuff on. Let's go. I said, all right, this is how the hustle goes. We get all our stuff. We go get these cars. So he jumped in the back of my whip because I had found a buggy. Mm-hmm. Jump in the back of the whip. Let's go. We shot over. I found another buggy. I'm like, all right, hop in your buggy. I get my buggy. And then we're going to get to the middle of the map. We're going to clean it out, and we're going to sit there and camp, wait for these dudes. Yeah, that sounds like it. Dang, let's do that. All right, so we're going through, right? I said, yo, there's a house over here. Let's hop out the whips, and let's go. This dude hopped out his whip, kept it running. His whip hit me, and killed me. Yo, I was on my knees. I was like, help, Sovereign, help me.
And it wasn't an immediate death either. It's that death when you're keeled over and you're just bleeding out.
I'm like, oh God, Sovereign, help me. Give me a medic pack. He said, you ain't got nothing? You about to die?
PUBG will make you test friendships on certain things.
So question, can you give people med packs if you have them?
Yes.
If you're on team. Okay, so I didn't realize you could do that. I didn't have any, but it was one of those.
I was gonna die anyway. That's not more egregious than me and Hot Monkeys Loving. Me and Hot Monkeys Loving. The most egregious thing is going. Yo, we made it to 4. Me and Monkey in the middle of the map, and I had these dudes under pressure in this house, so I'm sniping them because I know how to use the scope and everything. So I killed 2 dudes that's in the house. There's 4 of them in the house, right? So I'm waiting for the other dudes. I'm like, yo, Monkey, hold my 6 down. Look down. I got you. I'm dumping inside the window. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Yeah. I'm so focused on what's going on. This dude walks up behind me with a 9mm and blows my brains out. I'm like, Monkey, where are you? This dude was looking around the map. Oh, look at the trees over there. That's a nice. It's not so bad if you really think about it. We came in number 4. We came in. I lost my chicken dinner messing with Monkey.
Oh man, so many funny stories. Yeah, man.
The funny thing is on that one where I killed King, I actually came in second. I came in second, and he was watching me and telling me like who was around and whatnot. And then when everything kind of closed in, I only had a pistol, and I'm like in the middle of this field with a pistol, and he's trying to tell me they're coming from your left, they come from your right. I'm like, I'm dead, dude. I'm so dead.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, for me, I mean, this week it hasn't been a lot of Switch. I've been actually more home, so I've been actually touching that PUBG. Also, shout out to Lord Valakon. Also, birthday shout out to Lord Valakon, who shares the same birthday as Lord Addict. I keep forgetting that. So shout out to Lord Valakon on that. We got some PUBG getting in. It was fun. Did some duos. Yo, playing with Valakon is hilarious because he has no shame. Like, he's going to run. He'd be like, nah, let them beef over there. Get the jet and let's go left. And I'll be like, all right. Like he is all about the non-confrontation, then coming in and doing the hi-ya at the end when people are beefing.
No, what was funny is I was playing with Jansen and Kid Smooth, and they got sniped going over a ridge, and they're like, "Come get me!" I'm like, "Dude, he's just gonna snipe me." And then I looked at the. I want to say it was Critic we played with, and I just straight up said with the most serious voice, "Let's go, let's leave them."
Should have did that. See, you gotta be like that because it was we got down to like the final like 12 or something. The circle's closing in, and it's like I was running people over with the whip, so I was getting into it, and then he fell out the whip and got injured. So he called him. So I'm like, come on. He's like, no, I'm hurt. Da, da, da. So I'm seeing people getting shot. And I'm like, part of me is like, you're supposed to leave him. You're supposed to leave him. Man, I gotta go get. Yeah, if the dude ain't wait for me to get over there to put the revive button and see, ha! They set me up, man. They set me up. Whoever, shout out to that dude on Xbox Live who waited for Valicon to bleed out for me to get over there.
That is crazy, man. Like the little mini stories within stories like that can happen on the battlefield is crazy, man.
Absolutely. So I'm rocking that. I've been playing a lot of Destiny this week, so getting my masterworks on. I know we're gonna talk about that later. Have a lot of fun of that. And also been playing Sea of Thieves. I got in that the joint, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I'm under strict NDA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a good time with that. As much as what I can say. And I know the Terra beta dropped out, so I gotta hit up Lord Swap so he can educate me on his PC MMO, that Terra. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely gonna try to touch that up probably the beginning of this week, get in depth with that. So
hold on, I'd like to give a shout out to Sins of Wrath. I think it's 73. So this dude comes over this week because I have a schedule to clean my boiler. To do a maintenance check on my boiler. So it comes through, whatever. So I'm sitting on the computer, and I started playing a little bit of Cuphead, and he was like, "Oh, you play Cuphead?" I'm saying, "Yeah, I'm playing it on live right now, because it's a cross-play game." He was like, "Word, you on live? Yo, what's your gamer tag?" I said, King David OTW. He said, "What? No way! You on my list." I said, "What? You on my friends list? We played together. Look!" And he takes out his phone with the app, with the beta app, and he's like, "Yo, check it out." I'm like, "Wow!" I said, "Good thing this ain't no dude that I done cursed out or something."
Not like
blow my house up.
Raid that we did.
Yeah, like what's wrong with you, Sins? Get him out of here. Blow my boiler up.
No, shout out to your mans that you met on Xbox Live in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, we did what the Lords are playing. So let's get these poll results over with. So last week's ILP poll results are in, and the people have spoken. With Paris Games Week, PSX, and the Games Awards now over, does Microsoft need to take a more aggressive approach for their fan base outside of E3? The winner at 65% in our three-way ILP poll is the yes, Microsoft needs a dedicated show. And coming in at second, 30% was the no, E3 and Gamescom are enough group. And the shallow third place at 5% was that they don't care. 6 teraflops is greater than 4 teraflops. The shallow group is, I love it. Thanks to all participating. What do the Lord say? This birthday, Lord Addict. What do you think about this? Microsoft need its own show? Uh-oh. Just sleep. Okay.
Okay.
Lord Saab, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, you hear me?
What do you think about the poll?
Oh, okay. I thought we all fell out. Okay. They need their own show. Hopefully, with Phil, kind of being more quiet about what's coming in terms of first party and new stuff like that. Hopefully, they just building up the portfolio to have stuff to talk about. So I would say, yeah, man, you need that. You absolutely need that. Sony has that, and they've kind of fumbled the ball a little bit in terms of what they want that show to be. Mm-hmm. Microsoft needs to do that, and they need more practice in this sort of environment. They're not very good at mic drop moments and at creating excitement in the community. They're not good at doing that, and they need more practice doing that.
Yeah, that's what Sony gets them. Sony definitely got that.
Yeah, they got the theatrics.
Yeah, they know how to sell it. Lord King, what do you feel? About
I feel you're gonna think I'm crazy on this, but I feel this is when they should take a book out of Nintendo's direct scene and hit us with directs, so we can get those directs like once a month or once every 2 months, and it's different content. If they do a whole show and the production value that goes into a show, they're gonna use that sizzle reel throughout the year. So don't let that happen. Do a direct, control the narrative, and that way you can have those mic drop moments because you can test that with other people first before you do it. So yeah, I think the directs will be a smart, money saving way to do it and get the information out to everybody. And if your crowd that you're trying to look to is your own Xbox crowd and not trying to reach out to the filthy casuals, I think that's the way to go.
No, I think that's a great idea, Lil King, because it's like also one thing about the direct is such a controlled environment, right? You get to control the narrative. It's all on your terms. You know what I mean? And this way you don't have those Gamescom moments with bad mics and things shorting out and you know what I'm saying, all type of stuff like that. So yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's a good look. And hopefully next year they actually get on that train, you know, as far as promoting this stuff a little bit more. No doubt. So we're gonna get into these topics, and PUBG back in the news once again, and it looks like they shifted over 1 million copies on Xbox One within 48 hours. Now, this is obviously we know that it's going to continue to receive enhancements. There's going to be new content updates. I believe Brendan Green, he came out and he says right now he knows it's a little rough, but he's saying that he's going to polish it off. And actually, he's actually been in the news a lot. He's actually also made some comments in reference to IP protection, because we also know that there's a lot of battle royale copycats out there. Who he feels have cloned his work.
So he feels that they cloned his work.
Yeah, that's that he's not gonna go out there and bash Fortnite directly like that. He did it enough. So of course we already know who he's talking about.
No doubt, no doubt. What do you say, Lord? I missed you. I heard you say something.
That says there's no he feels to it. They cloned his work.
No doubt. There's definitely some controversy there. So yeah, what I want to get this to the laws. Obviously, there's a ton of PUBG news going on right now. So let's start with first the 1 million in 48 hours sold, and then our impressions. So let's start off with Lord Addict. What do you feel about this tremendous success that PUBG is having, and then also your personal impressions of the game?
I mean, does anyone really expect anything different from PUBG? The game that sold like 40 million in 8 months. Like, did people really think just because it was on PC and it's coming to console, did people really think console players wasn't going to play this game? Like, I did my last Planet Xbox. One of the people on there tried to argue with me, saying that the difference between the players is so vast that people just weren't going to pick up on this on Xbox. And I'm like, this is the console all last gen, and most of this gen is referred to as the shooter box. And you mean to tell me, like, the king of shooters out right now isn't going to sell on the shooter box? Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I shout out to Planet Xbox. I heard you guys, and shout out to Grind My Gears. I heard y'all going at it. You know what I mean? And
I'm going at it with the whole podcast.
I definitely heard it. And yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, it's one of those things, I guess, maybe from an Xbox perspective, we haven't seen such a, influx of success on a home, I don't say homegrown, but an exclusive title, right? So you're getting to see this like tremendous success in the short amount of time. And it is, I'm not gonna say it's surprising because we knew PUBG is popular, but it is just like, wow, you get to see the impact, like when you get to see the 1 million or 48. But Lord Saab, what you feel about all this success?
Yeah, I mean, the million in 48 hours is a little surprising to me, just because of how much uproar there's been about game preview and what that means, and people not wanting to buy into that, like not being willing to. I think PUBG was that game that people were like, you know what, regardless of how I feel about this program, I want to see it, I want to play it. And the numbers speak for it. It's a $30 purchase, so it's still in that impulse range that it's not a huge investment.
Right.
With the hope that it's going to keep improving. So yeah, I mean, again, like, it's PUBG. It sold, it killed everything on Steam this year. the fact that it's the only place on console you can play it now. There's so many people who play console only, people on Xbox. Like, you're gonna see the sales. But I'm really surprised that just because the game preview thing like didn't really keep people away from it. Like they decided to hop in 2 feet and see what it was, and either they loved it or they did it. You know?
I mean, it's like I've said from the start. You know, people want to go at Microsoft for making these. You know, wouldn't really call this game an exclusive, or like a timed exclusive yet, because I do feel like even if Microsoft wouldn't have reached out to these people, if they could have made the port, it would still be on Xbox right now because of the preview program. But
the only one that has it.
Yeah, I mean, let's say that, you know, it's no secrets that they've really worked with this company trying to make sure this port runs as good as possible. Because I do feel like if Microsoft wouldn't have went over there and helped make the port, they pretty much made their port, that this game would not be in the state that it's in. And, you know, people, they want to attack it because of, you know, how it runs. And I'm like, it could have been way worse for day one.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the running. I think we definitely gonna get into that. I want to also get Lord King on the early successful numbers and the just his impressions of the game so far.
Well, the DNA of the Xbox, if people have forgotten, is shooters. So, you know, Halo has huge success in that regard, and that's where the DNA started, and it spread from there when we was holding down Call of Duty and games of that ilk. So now that we have PUBG come through, and it's a very infectious game. I purchased the game 5 times. Yeah, because, you know, I purchased my copy. I purchased Dizzy's copy, and I had gifted
that game, gifting baby.
Yeah, I had gifted it out, you know, a couple of more times, and you know, Lord Sovereign's Try Hard, Lord Kaibatu, kind of robbed me of my glorious gifting moment. And you know, good thing that, you know, I found out ahead of time, because I was gifting as soon as I was able to gift it. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted everybody to get in as early as possible, to touch the game as quickly as possible, and have, you know, a good time. And it is a good time. So the surprise, not really. I'm not really surprised that the game did as good as it did. What I'm surprised at, to be honest with you, is how come PlayStation exclusive titles that are full-fledged titles don't sell 1 million copies in 48 hours?
That's definitely a question, you know, because obviously go ahead, Lord, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, if you look at it from the perspective of, you know, Xbox Live, like, when it comes to preview games, I noticed how Lord Sovereign said something about preview games earlier. Like, you know, how that stigma's around it and people don't really touch it. Like, let's be real here. Like, you know, commercials might sell your game, but what the number one thing that's going to sell your game is word of mouth. And this is literally the easiest game to sell to your friends. It's $30. It's glitchy as hell, but you're going to have a blast playing it. Like, it's not hard to sell this game to people. That's what happened to Friday the 13th. Like, word of mouth sold that game. I don't think they did any advertising for that game.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, for me, it was one of those things. It still was surprising to me. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when I saw the news, I'm like, damn, 2 days? Like, wow. Like, it really did. It just showed me the impact of PUBG. And I mean, I knew it was this huge PC phenomenon. Not saying that it wouldn't translate over. But again, I'm like, you know what? It's not really a full retail release. It's game preview. You know, how, you know, can it really do? Oh, shout out to Xbox in the chat. He's like, Halo. And I feel it. We're talking about games exclusive to Microsoft that generally not outside, that are outside of the Halo, Gears, Forza, you know, mode. So it's just like, you know, seeing that was like, wow, this is really hitting off. And as far as the game itself, like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Like, you know, when I heard about the game and the battle royale format, I'm like, okay, I can see how that can be fun, but it's one of those things that I'm like, you know, it's one of those things you come in with the hate, like, let me see if it's really as good as people saying it is. Like,
well, we've been taking so many losses lately that, of course, we thought the main exclusive that we had, that everybody was counting on, was going to do okay and wasn't going to do great. You know, it's called the beat down mentality. We have been beat down this generation.
Exactly.
You know, just the same way PlayStation has been beat down by us for years. So, you know, They always out there with the hate and the tiki torches. Oh, shout out to the to PUBG on the PlayStation running 0 frames per second
Oh
and
my
0
God.
resolution.
Trolling
Zero
hard.
frame, zero resolution.
Zero
Right.
resolution.
Checkerboarding 0 over there in the checkerboard land.
Yeah, trolling hard.
Checkerboarders.
So, like I said, like the thing about it is like, again, just my initial impressions. We're gonna get into how it runs and
Hey,
next.
if the PlayStation people wanted to, man, all they had to do is stream that on Twitch, put that PS4 controller in their hand, and act like
Y'all too savage. But yeah, like I will say, like just the whole coming down, the Hunger Games, you know what I'm saying? You and your mans, and you know, I do like the scavenging aspect, trying to loot for the best gear, that aspect being randomized, and just that tension, like, you know, when you see somebody, like you got that ability to engage with you, like, yo, let me wait until I really get to drop on somebody.
There's nothing funnier than when you both land and you're both in the house running for the gun.
Yes.
You know what's funny is I was playing with 2 other people and we had a 4th random person, and like I got real bad like random drops throughout the whole match. And there towards the end, I was sitting there shooting a pistol. And the random had an M14, and he was just missing every shot. And I was sitting there telling Jets, I was like, dude, this dude needs to stop this. Like, if he can't shoot this gun, then he needs to go somewhere else. And after about 30 seconds of that, Jansen was like, we're never going to get out of this behind this rock because I'm the only one that's actually shooting stuff. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me fix that. And I took the shotgun out and killed him and took his M14.
Yo, and it's nothing funny than when you do get somebody and you just rob them for all they loot. There's so many little things with it, man. I finally got a crossbow, so I was getting my little Daryl Dixon on from the Walking Dead.
That crossbow is fool's gold.
I know. I got one shot, and yeah, trust me, I know.
That is fool's gold.
Every time I run across it, I'm like, oh, there's a crossbow in here, Jansen. He's like, I'd rather throw a rock at them.
Yo, you better, because trying to reload in the midst of getting shot at.
You trying to reload that when the tension is on, when they on your neck, it's a wrap. But yeah, just so many little fun moments in the vehicles and stuff like that. And like I said, just that perfect mix up. You got to scavenge, but then you got that zone's closing in, so you got to keep moving and you keep forcing engagements. And they've got the formula, you know what I mean? So now that we got that out the way, I want to get into what also has been hot in these streets with PUBG, and it's about game preview and obviously how the game has been running. So we all know that fateful day, Lord Salve, Lord King, we fired up PUBG. We like, all right. And then we got to the airplane.
Slideshow.
Started going to pictures.
Our face is a little sour during those points. And then we jumped in the jet, and it was moving at 2.5 frames, and things was loading up. Choppy. And we got down and it was like, oh man.
What happened?
So this is one of the hottest joints in the streets right now. So basically, we know it's a game preview game. That we knew coming in. But I want to get into the discussion of, what I'm seeing going on Twitter. Shout out to Solid Rep. Shout out to Jay Fonzarelli. Shout out to Richard Review Tech. A lot of my peoples are going at it right now.
Yeah, tiki torches.
A lot of them it comes down to, the fact that it's game preview, but Microsoft did charge for this game preview, as well as the fact that shout out to Grind My Gears from playing Xbox and you guys going at it. But he made one valid point as far as that. This is one of the few game preview games that doesn't have a trial. Normally in game preview games, like you got that hour, you could check it out, to dip your toe in, and you're like, all right, let me see if I can commit to the project. So I want to
get down or lay down.
I'm going to bring it to the Lord, since Lord King wants to chirp, I'm going to give it to him. What do you feel about, is it acceptable for the game to be running the way it's running? You know what I'm saying? Like not optimized. And also as far as like the game preview, because Microsoft kind of seemingly market this as a AAA title, is it acceptable for it to launch in the condition it has launched in? Lord King, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, right, and I'm a proponent against game previews. Like I'm gonna tell you, I hate it. Don't put it on. Don't give me that game previews because my experience with game previews is suck. This didn't make it any better. This didn't, tell me that, game previews is here now, baby. Let's play all the broken games we can play. No, the price is $29, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the fact that you said there's no trial. Okay, yeah. Get down and lay down, bro. Either you in or you out. Don't dip your toe in the water. You want this product? You want to taste this product? Well, you gonna have to buy this product. And okay, so if you don't like this product, that's your business. If you didn't look at the 3 disclaimers coming in when you log in, when you go to press the button, and when you get ready to launch the game, and it tell you preview program, this game is not in its truest form, it's not in the truest state, and it will be, growing over time. I think there's a lot of people that have a failure to read. We have a lot of, in this community, we have a lot of illiterate gamers that don't read, that are click happy and trying to get to the game first instead of reading what's on the screen. And to you, my friend, you played yourself. To you played yourself. Don't sit out here with a tiki torch if you can't read. That's your damn business. I read. And all right, so get to the 11 frames per second. Get to the, and I have an X. So I feel sorry for you, the ones with the Xbox simples out there in these streets. I feel sorry for you guys because I know it's bad. And then the other guys with the brick box Xbox, the first joints, the 720 boxes, y'all is in danger.
They said they actually have a competitive advantage over X users because they have less stuff on screen and they can.
Yeah, they just running around with wire pixels. Wireframe guys, shout out to the wireframes. There's a workaround though. Lord Sovereign and Lord Cognito and Lord Addict knows this. We know this. Turn off your broadcast and stop trying to capture everything and stream everything. Turn it off and you get a solid 30 frames per second on the X. I don't know about the other systems because I don't have it. But on the X, I was getting a solid 30 and it looked beautiful from there on. Animation is still wonky, but the fun factor, there's no more fun than when I was calling Sinister Satan for the things that he was doing. Shout out to Lord Sinister.
Shout out to Sinister. Shout out to Zach Kareem in the chat. He said, I'd rather deal with preview and PUBG than to get raped by Sony in the No Man's Sky incident. Wow.
Yeah.
They're going in. Let me get Lord Addict real quick because I know he was going at this also on Xbox. What do you feel about that whole thing with the lack of the trial and is it acceptable for PUBG to be running in its state the way it is?
Look, when it comes down to it, it's like, look, does the game run? Well, first off, let's attack the trial. There should be a trial? Yes, because they did state that there's going to be a trial in every game. To my knowledge, they never said when that trial was going to be. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I do think it should have been a trial on launch, but at the same time, they were looking over the product they were looking over the state of the product over the trial. And I think the reason they did that is because they look, every game that they've launched in the trial and the game preview that had a trial, that had an online service like this, crashed immediately.
Right.
So they're like, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to not give you the trial on launch so we can launch this game without it crashing 5 seconds into the first match, because I guarantee you the sales would be half what they are now if that's the case. Because what lasted for 20 minutes and it was down for 2 days. Well, remember what's that game called? The Calling. It's same thing. Lasted for 20 minutes, down for 2 days because they overburdened the service completely, and that's what happened. So I do think that that should have happened. I think that as long as they launch it semi down the road when the game is pretty stable, that's fine. I think people need to realize that sometimes this is a big product for Microsoft. They're going to push it. They're going to do stuff that's out of the norm to make sure this game does what it's supposed to.
Gotcha. Now, shout out to Damien D in the chat. He says he thinks game preview and early access titles are ruining gaming. He said because AAA studios even put out games that are not fully baked. I want to get into that, but also want to get Lord Sarv on this too, as well as his feeling about, the state of PUBG where it's at right now, you know, and obviously, you know, the game preview stuff. So where you at with this also?
I think with the preview stuff, they were always going to charge upfront for this game without a demo period. It's different from other preview games in that
we're lucky they didn't try to get 60 from us, to be completely honest.
Yeah, exactly. You're not quite sure how they would approach this.
I had your guys' mentality, so I could do half the job and still get paid. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
But I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, it was all about money. They were always going to try to sell you this game up front and then give you a trial period afterwards. Mm-hmm. PUBG, unlike a lot of other game preview games, is already a known quantity. You already know what you're going to get with it. You already know the popularity of it. You're not going to ride that wave and charge people for it. So that was always going to happen. And they were always going to demo the game afterwards when it was in a little bit of a cleaner state. You know what I mean? To get those people that are on the fence and don't really know about it afterwards to purchase the game. So that's that. And in terms of what the game is now and what it could be, to all you people who've been playing the game on PC for the past year, we get it. We get it. Regardless of the state the game is running in, yes, it could be smoother. Lord King is correct. If you turn off your DVR functionality, once you're on the ground, which is the important part of the game, forget about parachuting in, forget about the little lobby area. Once you're on the ground is when the game is important. It runs considerably smoother if you turn off that DVR stuff. I'm not a big proponent of hacking your system to make it run better, but whatever.
Yeah, but I definitely want to share something to you guys. Like, this is the reason PUBG is selling the way it is. Go ahead and share that for everyone.
All right, hold on I got you. Oh my Lord, I see what's going on. Go for it.
It's like, look. This dude right here to the right, I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, to the right, he's going up behind my teammate Jansen because I got behind him somehow. So I'm sitting here like legitly just going, and the game's not running like this in the game, in the real game. It's running like this because of the stream. So I just come out literally behind him and just keep itching. He's shooting, and I just shoot him twice.
That's why I said we get it. That part of the game, no matter. The game is in good enough condition where that aspect of the game doesn't get lost. You still have so much fun with the game. So it's one of those things like if you're in it, especially with your friends, sometimes playing solo, it could get, a little bored if you're camping somewhere and you're just waiting for people to come to you. But when you're with your friends, something's always going on, even just the banter going back and forth. Like, the game, the appeal of the game is there, and that's why it sold 1 million copies in 2 days.
Hey, this is one of the only games I've ever played that made camping fun. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, we was at the very end where the circle was mad small, and it was over 2 buildings. So we knew they were coming in our house eventually. So we got in the bathroom, shut all the doors so they wouldn't think no one's walked in there. And the moment they opened that bathroom door, we just laid them out.
The moments as far as the fun, we get it. I guess what I want to do, I want to play devil's advocate because obviously, like I said, shout out to Silent Rev. He's going in on Twitter. Shout out to Red Dragon. They going in. The issue what they're saying is, and I want to bring this back to the table, is that they're like, because Microsoft is marketing this as a console exclusive, as a AAA title, right? That as a consumer, even though it's in-game preview, that we should demand more because of the state that it's in, because of how bad it's running.
Oh God!
I think people want to make it that way just because it's PUBG. If it were any other game with a lesser name or lesser known name, the state it's in wouldn't be as much of an issue. It's the PUBG thing, and the fact that Microsoft, when they said it's coming and it's in game preview, and they didn't give details behind that. They just said it's in preview. Right. And everybody expected that because they were giving them the white glove treatment and treating it like a first party kind of exclusive, that it was going to be in a more refined state.
I mean, did they expect this game to come out on Xbox, look like Uncharted or something? What the expectations were into this.
Now, the thing is, remember, again, in the defense of the people who are going in, remember, Microsoft came out and was like, yo, we got the coalition guys in on it. We giving it the white glove treatment. Say it's going to be optimized. So then to kind of see this at launch was kind of surprising to me.
They mean when it's done. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm tired of these tiki torch dudes that are
blue hole, the coalition guys. Where's it at?
It's dead. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't even think the game was up and running if it was up to a blue hole. Be honest with you, I think the coalition guys went in there and said, "Where's the code at? What code did y'all use?" Because if you look at the game, if you start digging into the game, you know there's a keyboard functionality to the game, right?
Right. When you look at the settings and stuff like that. Shout out to Xbot in the chat. The AAA marketing from the standpoint of one, now they're offering this as a free to pack in title with the Xbox One X. Two, if you go to any retail section, like you go to Walmart, you go to GameStop, it says Xbox One stock console exclusive. They have a big poster. It's being marketed in the same fashion that a AAA Xbox game is. You cannot deny that. That's all I'm not justifying what's going on. I'm just saying.
Man, they haven't got any games.
You know what's funny?
Exclusive.
You know what's funny? You go to any of these marketing retailers. You go to the how they're bundling it with the X for I think it's like 2 weeks or a week. Guess what's on all of that marketing?
What's on it?
In-game preview.
Oh, of course.
It's done.
You're absolutely now. That's where I side back with you guys. Like,
where's the No Man's Sky stuff?
Ain't nobody said shit about No Man's Sky for the most part when that game came out. People, I do remember a lot of people going at. I can't remember the name. I mean, the dev even left Twitter because of it. So I do remember people going at them, but I don't remember the internet exploding like this.
Well,
because it's Microsoft,
and people paid $60 for that game. And it was legitly false advertised.
And I think last week it became a full game. It became a full game last week, right? Didn't you, Addict? Didn't you say that you went and checked it out, or somebody went and just checked that game out recently?
I picked it up on sale recently. I literally
okay.
In defense, No Man's Sky was a complete game. It was finished. What was promised wasn't given.
It was the complete game with the highlight features in the game completely ripped out of it that they promised.
The frame rate was horrid, bro.
And I'm not saying I see Mainfo saying it got trashed. Stop it. I didn't say it didn't get trashed. To be fair, I said it did get trashed, but I don't remember the internet blowing up like this over it.
Yeah, no. I think
it's the Sony fanboys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that Sony themselves, again, they went into it acting like the game was everything they had promised until day one, and everybody's like, "Where's this thing? Where's this feature?"
What was up with the frame rate though? Yeah. Where was the popping and the no textures? What was up with that though?
I gotta remember they did get trashed because No Man's Sky. Remember they was talking about how there's all these universes, all these planets. You name your planet.
And it was none, and you couldn't meet up with nobody.
Yeah. So they got destroyed. That guy.
Notice.
What's his name? I forgot the guy's name.
Notice. You know what I do want to mention? You know what I noticed about these two entirely scenarios? Like, remember how quick Sony caved and blamed the other company?
Yep.
Yeah, Sony pointed over there. Yeah, that was
Sony threw the desk. Sony threw the Des and No Man's Sky under the bus with the quickness. Like
horrible.
No, this is where, as far as the game preview, I want to go back to that because this is where I kind of do side, with you guys, as far as Lord King. As far as like Microsoft has been very clear, about what the game preview is, pretty much is a fan's way for them to preview, purchase, work in progress digital titles, especially participate in the development process and help devs make Xbox One games the best they can be. So you come in with that disclaimer, right? You come in knowing when you launch this thing, this is not a final product. Once the game is purchased, you're entitled to every updated game. And then the other thing about game preview that I think also is being missed is that even with Ark, right? I think when Ark finally released, wasn't it like a $60 purchase?
Yeah, we had that argument before.
The advantage of early access is, are you getting in early?
I do believe that we should
got or cheaper.
We should have got it cheaper. This should have been a $15 game if we're beta testing it for you. I do believe that.
You feel it should be cheaper than the 30?
Yes, at least 20. It should have been cheaper because we are beta testing for you. They pay people legit money and jobs for that job.
Absolutely.
You know what I say? If anybody has a problem, go to Microsoft and get your money back. Shut up.
Fact, no,
Oh
that
my.
no facts.
No, when it comes down to it, like I enjoy playing the game,
Mhm.
but let's be real here. Like if you drop that game in preview, it should be cheaper.
No,
Mhm.
$30 is fine.
I think Microsoft, yeah.
No,
Is the get down or lay down price?
No. If you are putting your product out there to be dissect and to fix the game,
Obviously, you're in the minority in this. It sold 1 million copies in 48 hours, so nobody cares.
How many Xbox Ones have been sold? That's still the minority. Shut up.
45. Let's see the number today. You purchased, right? You got down, right? If you don't like it, get out.
I'm not saying like so I can't.
You playing it right now. Either get down or lay down. How you gonna whine about it and play
I'm
it?
not whining. Was there any whining to that? I said
Yeah, it's whining. I paid too much for this. I'm having such a great time.
No.
How much do you pay for a great time, Addict? $30 is too much for your great time?
I didn't pay jack shit, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're
He gets upset.
No.
Because he paid for it and played it.
Stop talking over me. How about that?
Oh my God, you're 26 and you're hardcore today.
I'm gonna stop talking. I'm not having an opinion.
No, good. I want to
forget this.
I'm out of here.
But anyway, what I was gonna say is, in reference to that whole thing, is like, look, I get it. The thing is, with the $30, there's a price point. There's already a precedent been set because, like, the other game preview games were kind of the same price. Right? 'Cause I know when I picked up Long Dark, it was 30. Ark was, I believe, was 30, whatever. So you know that coming in for the most part. I don't necessarily have a problem with it being $30. You know what I'm saying? That's the price of admission. But I do agree with Lord King in the sense that, look, you've got to understand what the game preview is. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft has made it very clear what a game preview game is. So that part shouldn't be surprising if you're that upset with the quality. And I'm not justifying the quality is not good. It's very soupy. Some of the textures is very N64-ish. That popping. You know what I mean? It's real crazy. The aiming is real crazy. And the hit detection can be real crazy. So if you feel that strongly, then definitely refund. And that's one thing that I like that Microsoft has in place. You can get that digital refund. You can take it back, kind of thing. So, Lord Soft, I need you to jump in on this as far as that whole quality and
I think if you look at what Microsoft, they kind of painted themselves into a corner again, kind of like what Sony did with No Man's Sky, where they backed this game, they backed this big concept, and they made it into a bigger thing that I think even the developer of the game cared to make it, and then they had to try to live up to it. So with this, I think Microsoft just sort of, the fact that they from the beginning gave the impression that they're giving it this white glove treatment, and they promised it this year. They had to deliver on that. You could not, after the year of the L and canceling games, canceling Scalebound, you had to deliver on this regardless of what. Would they have preferred launching it maybe in February, being a little more polished, still in game preview? Yeah, absolutely. I think they would have preferred to do that. Another thing is like King mentioned, that when you plug in a USB keyboard, this whole menu comes up, right? So obviously it is a straight port. And I think if they really, really wanted to get the most out of this game, they should have just built it from the ground up for the Xbox and kind of addressed the issues that it had with the original PC build. When you just port over the game, you're porting over the quirks, you're porting over the problems as well. You have to deal with that. So again, like I don't know. At the end, I don't know what people are expecting the game to be ultimately when it's quote unquote done, when it's 1.0. Is it going to be at the level that it is even on the PC side? So it's one of those things that I think people have unfair expectations based on what Microsoft sort of quote unquote promised, but at the same time, Microsoft sort of wiped their hands of it completely by just saying, hey, it's preview, and not giving any details about what preview means. But like I said, like, hey, you know what? If it's in preview, you know what preview means generally.
Right.
Read, like King said, you got to read and make the decision for yourself. And then you deal with the consequences of that decision. For me, the $30 that I paid for the fun that I've had with it, no matter how quirky and broken it is in certain instances, is worth it. Is worth it. Same way that, you know, PC players at the beginning of 2017, when they were like, what the hell is this game? And it was broken and all kinds of janky, they still kept playing it.
Right.
So
we know the fun factor is there. And
the fun factor's there.
I think you made a great point. Also, I haven't referenced that. I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that they were under pressure. They told people that this game was coming in 2017. And it was hella high water. This thing is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my gut feeling as to why it's in the state it's in. It's completely not optimized. Let's call it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
The keyboard, you see the PC settings. You know what I'm saying? Like, port, lazy, we just got to get this thing out. You know what I mean? And they knew that deadline was. And I think game preview, I don't want to say is the excuse, but it's more like, yo, you can't say nothing. Game preview.
Yo, you know when I knew something was going down? When I went to download the game and it said 5 gigs.
Look, at the end of the day, these are the same people. Like, you know, for the most part, I do agree with the whole, you know, casual don't know better. But we got people that follow gaming on Twitter. They knew this game was going to be running like trash when it came out on preview. They not only went through, saw the disclosure saying this game isn't going to be a final representation of the final product. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. They bought it because they wanted to play it, and then they had the audacity after they read all these disclosures. They knew what kind of state the game was going to be in. They knew how it ran on PC for, 8 months? Then they want to go to Twitter saying it's trash still. Like, these people don't make no sense to me. Like, these are the same people that be trying to justify betas. It's a beta, man. Like, it's supposed to run like that. They're just testing the servers. And I'm like, get out of here with this nonsense.
And from what I hear, we don't even have the latest build that's on Steam.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I felt that was a red flag when you plug a keyboard in and you get the same PC UI. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to make this that premium experience and really white glove this game, then you build it from the ground up for Xbox, and then you optimize it and work that way. When you're just moving it over, I don't think at the end of the day, when this game is in 1.0 state, I still think you're gonna have people pissed off with it.
No doubt. Block on the chat. He made a good point too. And this is also one I want to get at is that he says does a disclosure negate people's right to critique the game?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. You can go in. You know what I'm saying? But this is where I think sometimes the fanboy lines do get crossed. It's like if you hate it, fine. If you feel that this is not worth it, refund your money. But to sit there and get upset at other people who are actually having a ton of fun with the game, you know what I mean? That's kind of draw the line with it. But go ahead.
I've seen people go at people on Twitter for saying, "Oh, you bought that trash. It doesn't work." Like, look, like, and to my opinion, like, if they tell you, I work for a company that I be reading disclosures every day. You know why those disclosures are there? So you can't sue them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can go on social media and you can do the pitchfork thing all you want because that's what it's there for. But for people who acting like they didn't expect this, that's the people I'm looking at.
You know what I noticed and what I think these guys is looking for likes and looking to be explosive by coming out negative to a game that has such positive praise towards it. That will only highlight your aspect. Red Dragon, I mean, you're a minimalist dude, and I've noticed everything that you have done. You have minimized, you have pushed down, you have kicked Microsoft. You have done this a lot.
I can't agree with all that.
What's going on here?
So I mean that's nice if you don't agree with it. I agree with it. That's my opinion of it. But yeah, what I say to anybody that has purchased the game, you played the game, you tried the game, like anything in this life, if you purchased it, you tried it, you don't like it, and the store has a policy where you can return it and just shut up about it.
Absolutely.
That's the ultimate purchasing power with your wallet.
Absolutely.
But don't get mad at me or Sovereign or Addict for having fun.
Right.
real fun with this game in whatever state it's in, because I said it. I said it looks like a bloody mess, but it is the best bloody mess that I've been playing.
Yeah.
So
let's just take a moment of silence to recognize that. Well, Bluehole. That what's the company that make this Bluehole?
yeah,
That
Mhm.
$7 billion.
That Bluehole has successfully made King David play a preview game. Let's just take a moment of silence.
Yeah, like that's a huge thing. Isn't that a huge thing? Because wasn't I the one sitting there saying kill a program?
Yeah. You're so against the program.
Yeah.
That. I mean, listen, I don't want to get too crazy with the red thing. You know what I'm saying? All I want to say
I know.
sides to it
Let's
is
see.
there's the side that I do hear with Lord King saying, which is like, look, you can't get mad if people are enjoying their purchase. But the other side to it too is I also am not mad at people saying that, like, yo, we not allowed to criticize it because it's game preview. Like, you can go in on it, but once you go in on it, then it's over. What I'm seeing is the consistent day to day talking about how terrible it is. If you don't like it, just be done with it and play something else. Like, why are you in someone else's? You know what I'm saying? That's where I struggle with it.
I mean, the game came out when last Tuesday, the 12th.
Yeah.
It's the 17th. It's almost a week, fam. Like, let's be real here.
If people are having fun and the numbers kind of indicate that they are, you know what I'm saying? Then let them rock out. Now, the last thing about PUBG before we move on, I just want to get off with the whole IP protection, because obviously Brandon Green is a little upset, you know what I'm saying, with a couple of copycats out there. He lamented how publishers can take an idea, under the role on that small and then kind of call it their own. We know this is the low key epic shot at Fortnite. We know this, you know what I'm saying? But the also thing is, I want to bring his attention that, technically, if you look at his history, he actually made PUBG off a mod that wasn't his idea. So I want to bring this to the laws. Like, what do we feel about Brandon Green talking about IP protection and copycat game? What do you feel?
Look, let me start this. Like, I am very front on the line of Epic straight up jacked Fortnite's formula from PUBG. There's no denying it. They have everything you can think of. They have the map layout where you put a marker on it. They had it's so bad identical that like the only difference is the graphics in the building. Like, that's literally the only difference. And I'm sitting here like, they didn't even try to change stuff around. Like, it's like Epic and them it was like Epic was being petty. They're like, it's like Calvin was running the whole industry, and he was like, you know what? We need to, you had the other people talking to him, but like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be so upfront that we're jacking their formula. Maybe something a little bit different. And Calvin's like, nah, like, forget it. Like, I want the bus going in there to mimic their plane. I want the map to look alike. I even want the circle to be identical. We want Epic to know who's daddy. Like, that's legitimately what's going on there.
Yes.
And the day it drops, they drop the 50 versus 50. Come on, man.
That's kind of petty.
I don't know what went on behind.
Is Epic's got the resources and the manpower to do that 50 on 50 so quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what went on behind the scene. I don't know who pissed off who or what went where and how those left. But how you rent a tenant a room in your building and you turn off the lights and the heat in his joint because you ain't like how he was moving. Like, I don't understand. You mimic this dude and you copy this dude, and of course, like you said, he got his joint off of copying. But when your company go from your stock price is $1 to $7 billion is your worth, you trying to hold on to all your coins. So shout out to him to trying to protect his joint. But everybody's coming. Everybody's gonna make a clone.
Yeah, it's different now because the stakes are just higher. Like you said, like his stake in it is so much higher now that you do have to worry. Beforehand, whoever wants to copy it, whatever. He could have never imagined his game was going to get this big. So obviously now you have to really protect that. But at the same time, you got to think about it like, PUBG is not the first battle royale game to come out. It's just not. He didn't originate this genre. It's just the one that stuck the most, and it's the one that's resonated the most with people.
And
Get a lot.
I know. I don't know exactly what the contract is when you agree to use the Unreal Engine. I think that's what PUBG is being ran on. But I do know that in a lot of corporations, if you use if you're an employee of them, which obviously they're not an employee of Epic, but I do know that if you use their facilities and their programs to do your own little project, they have the right to jack your shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. I mean, it's that funny thing with gaming. Shout out to Lord Delabo. He's like, if you imagine Miyamoto got heated because Sonic ran and jumped just like.
Not the same thing.
It's not the same, but I do understand the sentiment, and it's just kind of like in gaming, it's so tough because that's how gaming is. Like pretty much like whenever there's a trend, like remember when 5v1 was the trend? Remember when 5v1, 5v1. You know what I'm saying? And there's always gonna be copycats. It's just one of those things that like Lord Soft said with this guy, Brandon Gameplay Unknown, is just that he just hit the right formula with this thing. You know what I mean? Just catching like wildfire. This thing is just on fire.
It
was the sympathy vote, I think.
The thing that makes him the most angry is if you look right now on Xbox Most Played list, it goes Call of Duty, Fortnite.
Right.
And it's not the fact that he stole his formula that might upset him. It's the fact that they stole his formula and made their shitty game into one of the most played games on all platforms.
And that's the thing. Nobody plays base Fortnite anymore. Everybody plays Battle Royale mode. And the arguments that I've heard people have with Fortnite over PUBG is that it's a much more polished game. It's just
deathmatch.
No, I mean it's who owns dude. These are valid points. I just thought it was interesting from my perspective to hear Brandon Green come out and talk about IP protection. When I'm like, wait a minute, bro, like isn't your joint a mod of what is it, Armor?
It's Armor 3. It's an Armor 3 mod.
You really come up with this all the way yourself. I just thought that was ironic.
Now Armor is its own thing. Like it's more it's very technical. It's like a military shooter. But again, the premise behind it, the depth behind it, it's all core to that. You know what I mean? Like so he's the first one that took that engine and made it into what PUBG is as a battle royale game with the walls closing in and stuff like that. So he added stuff to it, absolutely. But the concept of battle royale, no, he didn't create that. And he, again, it's just one of those things where he's in a point right now where it's in his best interest to try to protect it as much as possible. But it's kind of like a wildfire right now. You can't. It's gonna keep happening. People gonna keep doing it. And if somebody betters your formula, that's when you really have to worry.
Hurting him is Fortnite free.
What you say, Lord?
I said what's really hurting him is Fortnite is free.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the. I will say this though, like I was looking at the mixing numbers and the engagement when PUBG went live, and just to see it damn near triple, quadruple, Fortnite in that short period, I was like, wow. Now it's gonna be interesting to see, as it continues and does the momentum keep up. When January, February hit and other games and stuff like that. I think what they need to do is they got to be consistent with the patching. They got to, if they keep that up, get that thing playable, this thing can really take off. And I agree with Lord King. I think this thing is perfect for the Xbox ecosystem.
I think a lot of people, the thing with the like Fortnite versus it, I think a lot of people don't gravitate to the Fortnite because of the look of it. They don't like the cartoony feel of it. We like the gritty feel of it. And we said it when we played the first day, that the gritty feel of it, even if it in its jankiness, I prefer to play that to Fortnite.
It's more of a serious nature. Now, shout out to Fortnite. They do got the building and you know what I'm saying, like the tower stuff like that. There's things that they can do. But then I like PUBG with the vehicles. We can just jump in the whip, we can get it, and it's definitely a more gritty, serious tone. Like,
you know what it feels like to me? It feels like PUBG is Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite is Saints Row. And if you want that little cookie, little wonky, little candy corn thing, there's a place for that over there. And if you want that, get down dirty, do it in the city, grimy and gritty, you get down with the PUBG. And I mean, PUBG got that feel.
What's funny, if you use that comparison, so what Blue O needs to do, they need to make that GTA 5 where they're like, don't copy us, bro. You can't do it.
You funny. Shout out to Lord Savage in the chat. He said the main issue is that Epic introduced a direct competitor type game while still being in charge of engine improvements and refinement.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that just comes on. You know, they just slide
them on that. Salute to Lost, because that's. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, normally I don't get into like favorites, but that made me not want to play Fortnite until PUBG came out, because I'm like, yo, exactly what Lord Sam said. It's like, ethically, you know, that's shiesty to do that when you're working with Bluehole and those guys. You know what I mean? I just felt that was all. But again, Lord, you want to finish this off?
And you know, I saw a lot of people when it first came out that was like, "Oh, they need to sue them." Trust me, if that man could sue Epic, he'd have done it by now. Like, I really think it's like I said earlier. I think Epic did all that and it was legal because they were using their engine.
Yeah, they know away with it. All right, so we all PUBG'd out. I'm assuming we're gonna move on. Unless any of the Lords got anything left to say on this PUBG.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just joking.
No, I'm gonna get killed if I forget Lords. You go to What's up? Will there be any event for NPD?
There will indeed be knees bending. All of us hail PlayStation.
Listen, I don't know about these dudes. I don't know.
You want to recount? You demand a recount?
Yeah.
He sounded very Illuminati right now.
Yeah, I'm Al Gore in this. I want y'all to recount those ballots, those absentees.
So as we know, we look forward to November for so long, and looks like the NPD numbers have come out, and the NPD group has released its November report. PlayStation 4, the top seller in all units sold for the month of November, while the Xbox One earned the most in dollar sales. And obviously that can be explained by the higher priced Xbox One X at $500. So, unfortunately, all the Lords were incorrect. There was no Switch number one. There was no Xbox number one. Sony PlayStation.
Hey, Lord King.
Mm-hmm.
Lord King. I kind of feel like they need a bend they need twice for there being third, though.
Nigga didn't get out both these.
There are no stipulations for that. Thank you very much.
Listen. I'm honestly, I'm sorry. I know it may sound like sour grapes. I know it does. I don't believe those dudes. I think they was buying their own stuff because I don't see nobody with no new PlayStations.
Joe, no, we do know that the Sony, what is it? They lost out. Help me out. Didn't they have like a 189 Black Friday?
I think that's the only reason
that had to be.
I think that's the only reason me and Lord King are bending the knee. That's the only reason.
Yeah, because they dollar price. They threw their dollar price under the bench.
Microsoft didn't compat it with theirs.
Yeah.
Yo, they had to show leg. They had to show leg in the street to sell.
Yeah. But like I said, no one, you got to give credit where credit's due. No one gave Sony a shot. We all thought
something's up with that.
With the Mario pack in, we all thought with the new system, the launch of a new system with Xbox One X, and Microsoft had a competitive S price, which they believe they were $199. Running through the
What's up with that? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I think they got something with GameStop, and they were selling the reused as the new prices. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, if something's gonna come out about these dudes this generation, that those numbers is not right. I'm telling you, man. Something in my gut is telling me these dudes is lying.
Illuminati Central with Lord King.
They're lying. So I don't want to get down on my knee. No.
Like out there, you out of.
How much would you guys say that? How much are they up to right now?
70 million.
About 70 million.
Yeah, like 70
Get the hell out of here.
Hold up. How many months has it been in every year since 2013?
How many months? I think it's one.
No,
I don't understand the question, buddy.
I think Microsoft won like the first month or the second month, and then they just was like steamrolling.
they
pretty much just switched steamrolling for the majority of the year, and then in the end, here they came. Sony came in, swooped in the biggest months.
There's been 48 months since the Xbox
Since the Xbox One, yeah, it's been a
the
minute.
Xbox One and the PS4 launch. So
yeah,
let's
I
just
think I had
say let's just say they sold. Well, what do you think would be a good number to offset holiday sales? Like when it comes to holiday. So like the average, the average beginning of the year would offset. I'd say $1 million. Let's say they sold $1 million, because I feel like if you say Sony sold $1 million every month, that would offset when they do sell over $1 million.
You know, that man said, "Take your L like a man can."
No, I'm not taking my L. Yo, listen, Lord Addict. Let me ask you a question.
It's like, okay, so we're hypothetically saying they sold $1 million every month, okay?
Right.
And that is by far ridiculous. But let's say they sold $1 million every month. That's 48. So are you meaning to tell me that Sony has sold $1 million and plus, obviously, your holidays, sometimes they'll say 1.5, 1.6. That's apparent. But so they sold over $1 million every month since launch. And that's still 48 million.
So you're of the theory that there's something wrong with the numbers too, Lord? Is that where we going?
I'm just saying.
Something wrong with the numbers. I just feel like that's a lot. Like,
Lord, listen.
One of the most popular systems of all time.
Lord Addict. Since the Switch has come out, this is when I know something's dirty in the water. Since the Switch has come out, they have won NPDs every month. Rocking, running through. So when September came, we were seeing if it was going to do it in September. It did it. Rocking. So you mean to tell me the month that they got the Mario, the Black Friday, and all this other stuff, they going to lose that month?
And you know how I know something's up?
Oh my God, with the conspiracy.
No.
This Iron Lord Illuminati podcast.
Real conversation. How much is the Switch sold?
I have no idea.
Aren't they at like 10 million, almost 15?
Yeah. Oh, a little. They're over like 10 million already.
Yeah, they like close to 15 million.
And they've been winning every NPD, correct?
Yep.
They won September, October, definitely. I mean,
but November they lose.
Let's say they're at 10 million.
I think. All right, let me get out of the conspiracy theory.
Let him finish.
This is me and Lord Key, okay? Let's say they're at 10 million. So that means, give or take, they've sold, $1 million, a little bit more every month.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so with that, and they've been beating PlayStation, and at least
right.
So you meaning to tell me $1 million or more every month, and somehow PlayStation's got double the units for the rest of the lifetime?
I think Switch blew its wad in September, October, and they didn't have the same amount left in November. I
don't even think it's that though. So my gut with Switch is that, let's keep it 100. Nintendo's arrogance with this month is that they didn't drop their price. They kept the 300. So if you keep the 300 versus a 189 PlayStation Slim in store, and then a 199 Xbox One S, then a launch of a
I see some people in the comment section. It's like, look, I am well aware that there's a worldwide sales and there's an NPD.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that what NPDs, what they averagely sell like every month. I think it's every week they sell like 150 to 200,000. So that would be around $1 million just in NPD. So you mean to tell me that they sold another $1 million for the rest of the world?
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is where the BS comes in. Like, you gotta look at it, right? If Nintendo Switch has been averaging $1 million every month at their price, they didn't drop their price, and Sony's been losing to them. So let's say Sony's been selling 700,000 every month at their price, and they cut their price down. They blew past these dudes. They were just waiting for the price drop to just blow past these dudes. Get the hell out of here. Something think with that number.
We gotta get some. I gotta get some. Just turn it into Illuminati podcast. I want to get my man, Lord Brap. Is it?
I'm not.
Brap, are you?
I'm not saying that they didn't 100% get these sales. All I'm saying is that it's a little fishy. That
this is the month everybody's pointing to. Then all of a sudden they come from behind with a run.
In order for them to get around the sales they need, they would have had to have sold about 1.5 million units a month since launch.
Lord Brap, please bring us back down to earth. Please.
Yes. We're gonna build it.
This is like a meeting of the Bilderbergs. It's like the Illuminati's going on.
Thank you.
Tell them, Brap. Tell them, Brap. Something stink with them numbers.
Now, some reasoning, some level-headedness in the room. Love that. Please.
No, I just look. Someone hit home with Nintendo. I think it was you, Cognito. That they didn't drop the price or offer any sexy bundles for the month of November. I don't think it's any surprise.
I do want to state that me and King were right. The Switch is going to lose. So let's continue.
Continue, love, bro.
Yeah, so I look Black Friday and this time of the year is everyone's looking for deals, so it's no surprise Microsoft and Sony ran with it. I'm not surprised. And when Sony came out and said this is their best Black Friday ever, I was like, whoa. That was a statement within itself. I'm willing to bet though. I think Microsoft and Sony are probably much closer than probably what people would realize. And actually, you guys are talking about worldwide numbers. In the U.S., North America, it's not a 2-to-1 ratio.
It's not.
It is worldwide. It's much closer.
And, I do want to state that you're bringing that up, Brad. For the past like 16 months, every time someone talks about Xbox's sales, these people really think that Microsoft hasn't pushed 5 million. Because every time I hear someone talk about Xbox sales, well, there's still like 30 million sales. So there's been a 30 million for 16 months. And like when they did 35, I was like, I think they're anywhere, because I personally think Microsoft has passed the 40 million mark.
They're at 50 million.
But for some reason,
hard numbers.
I don't know if they're at 50. I mean, EA and some other developers have said it's 2-to-1. And so if you're looking at 2-to-1, you're probably looking at 35, maybe close to 40.
Exactly. Why can't we accept that Microsoft just may have 35? Like,
look,
why?
I'm not accepting that.
But here, look, this is the thing I always tell people. Like it's not that Microsoft as a console, the Xbox isn't. It's not that it's selling bad. It's just that Sony is selling astronomically well.
Thank you. Why can't
and Brad,
that Xbox is going gold and Sony going platinum?
Brad, no, they're going diamond, bro. Hey, there's something fishy with that water. I'm just saying. It don't smell right. It's when you gotta look at the test and it don't smell right. Like, you ever seen something that's like it just don't smell right.
I feel you, but here's the thing. Here's what the chat is saying. The chat is like, but how come if they don't smell right, then why is Microsoft being the one not disclosing units?
We don't do that no more. We say no.
But why? You see, that's the losers mentality. We not gonna show
listen.
Our numbers, because after a while it's embarrassing. We're not winning competitive.
I don't want y'all to think that I think that Microsoft is beating these dudes or they one up or nice with these dudes. No, they winning, but it's not like they say.
Look. I just did a little math. Okay.
Hey, back. This is my math man right there.
Hold on. In order for for Sony to be at where they are in sales, they had to sell over 1.75 million units a month since launch. Like, they can't have 1 month go below 1 million, or it doesn't make sense.
But you got to remember something though. There's months like if you look historically at months like NPD has talked about this in March. I mean, this past year, like March and I think February, they were doing like 300,000. And that's like. That's typically
we got like a fraction of that 1.7. So let's keep going.
No, but what I'm saying is though is that there's they sold
like 1.3 million in the rest of the world.
Well, yeah, I mean that's possible that they could do 1.3 million the rest of the world for like a month of March. I mean, it's not out. I mean, they did 350,000 units.
I'm gonna need people
March in North America.
I'm gonna need people from the comment section. Send me a link to that world. Send me a link to that world that that worldwide sales. I need a link. I need that link.
Lord Attic, you just don't believe this cannot
Yo,
be.
Brap. I think
yeah.
there's a landfill in New Mexico right next to the ET cartridges that has a bunch of PlayStation 4s in it.
They're all stacked in Area 51.
Yeah, man, they're right next to the Alienware drives. I'm telling you, man, something not right with this because your games can't sell 1 million. Something's up, man. It's stinking in our head.
Hold up. ZCL.
Mhm.
All right. Instead of coming at me with link to Microsoft Xbox One sales, why don't you link me to the worldwide sales? I politely asked. Thank you, sir.
He can't find those numbers because they don't exist.
We ain't talking about Microsoft sales because Microsoft don't talk about Microsoft sales.
We don't do that in Fight Club.
We don't talk about sales.
We don't talk about sales. So as we're talking about sales, I also want to talk about obviously the top 20 games released for November. We know what the system order was, but obviously Call of Duty back on top, doing what it do. Much as people hate it, much as it's the dude, bro, whatever. Boots on the ground, #1, and surprisingly, Star Wars Battlefront 2. #2 with even the negative
The Calvin edition. The Calvin edition, Loot Crate edition.
Listen, we have to say this. That's still pretty impressive considering we know it's not going to be Call of Duty. Call of Duty is what Call of Duty is. But for Star Wars to still be #2 with all that negative
The thing is, all that negative press only matters to us.
Yeah,
That's
what do the Lord feel about it? Let's get Lord Brap on this because he's the guest right now. Challenger has appeared. Lord Brap, what do you feel about that?
I agree with what Sovereign was saying. Look, we live in this bubble and we forget that there's this group of gamers, the casuals, which ruin everything for us.
I love that.
They buy loot crates. And let's not forget. I mean, Star Wars: The Last Jedi just dropped, so there's a lot of that game is benefiting from all the Star Wars hype. Star Wars is in everyone's minds, being heavily marketed right now. You can't turn on the TV set without seeing something Star Wars related. I'm not surprised by this at all. Even with the
Lord Salt in the chat, he says Star Wars the pay to win edition.
That's like the Calvin edition. Yo, I am doing a 2-step in my room right now because all us Loot Crate lovers, we out here purchasing. Yes, baby. I love this because y'all were wrong and I was right.
Lord Attic, we know you are not a fan of EA's whole Loot Crate Battlefront stuff. So what do you feel about this with them being #2?
I mean, look. The gamers didn't win with this game not selling or selling. The gamers won the fact that they stock went down $2.5 billion.
I got you. So you feel like the damage?
How you going to explain that to the stockholders? You can't.
No valid points. I see where you go with that. I see that. It's interesting. I definitely my eyebrow raised when I saw that NPD list, and I'm like, whoa, okay, kind of interesting. So also I want to get into the whole point. Obviously, we talked about the order of NPD, but also as far as Xbox generating the most revenue at that price point. I thought that was still pretty impressive. A $500 system, got the revenue going. So Lord Brad, what do you feel about that as far as Xbox from the financial standpoint and revenue?
I mean, I think it's great. It shows. Here's the thing that it shows. It shows that people are willing to buy new hardware, and that is a huge win for the industry and for gamers. I mean, $500 is $500 I'd be interested. They won't release. They obviously won't release the numbers, but I'd be interested to see how many units they sold. But if anything else, my takeaway was that people are spending money on hardware, and that is such a big boom for the industry. And we should be happy about it. Everyone should be happy about it because it's a win-win.
Yeah, shout out to Damien D. He said people were claiming they were boycotting. They know damn well they wasn't going to.
That's what I say. Because listen, I didn't get a chance to talk about my Star Wars, because he did it again. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I feel so good that I have been vindicated in this show right here because everybody was talking about how EA's gonna get this yank. Yo, watch how that number keep climbing. and the loot crates keep shining. Cause I'm gonna buy a loot crate today.
So this is your moment of glory, King. That the
Yes, yo, there's nothing better than hearing all the tiki torches outside your window, and you be like, "Yo, Star Wars is in the movies." They said, "What? What? I'm gonna go pick up Battlefront right now to get brushed up on the story." They all had tiki torches with Battlefield in their back pocket. They're frauds. You're a bunch of frauds.
You're hilarious, man. You're having way too much fun with this. Oh my God. Real quick, Lord King, before I know you got off. Do you need anything else to say before I want to get
No, I just wanted to let them know that they're a bunch of frauds.
No, King has spoken. King Loot Crate.
Yes, premium edition, Calvin.
Lord Brad, we know you jumped in late, and I definitely real quick. I know we know over PUBG. I just wanted your assessment. I would like a sneak preview. I heard a rant might be coming, so I wanted a sneak preview of that exclusive Brad PUBG rant. Can I get to that?
Yeah, that happened. That happened
when we were going.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened earlier, and it's if with the rants, like if I'm feeling it, I have to go. Like I have to go at that time. You just gotta go, and I got some heat from it from people in the chat. There were some other people that agree with me. And I was just saying like this, like I understand. I've been seeing people out there saying, "Oh, you shouldn't complain if you know what you were buying," and I'm like, that's. I understand that perspective, but the point of early access is to be critical or to provide input or feedback, right? So that these developers can make the best possible product that we can all enjoy, love, whatever, right? So, my point was, look, I understood that it had issues, and I bought it, understanding it had issues. I just didn't realize how much the issues would impact my experience. And that's what I was talking about. I didn't say that no one should go out and buy it, that the game is not fun. Or that it's unplayable, but people I think took it that way, and I think people have a hard time when you criticize things,
right?
And look, there's nothing wrong with being critical. I don't subscribe to the idea because you buy something and it. Now, look, if someone says and advertises this to you that hey, this car doesn't work, it won't start, and you buy it, that's on you. I mean, you bought a product that doesn't work. This is a
game preview vehicles.
This is a different situation. You are buying a product that works. Gotcha. It's not finished, but it doesn't mean you can't be critical of how the game actually performs in game and how you experience it. Some people are like, you know what? I'm okay with pop-in. I'm not okay with pop-in. I have a 6 teraflop beast console. I shouldn't be seeing trees magically appear in front of me. I'm not okay with that.
I feel you. And the whole thing is you want the developer to improve, and you want to be allowed to be critical without being attacked.
Exactly. And I don't think it's fair to attack people. I'm not saying, and I say this number, I'm not saying that.
Go ahead and call me out. I know you want to.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't have fun with this game or that it's not fun. That it's not. People think that when you criticize something, that it means that it sucks or they can't, or that it's unplayable, or that you can't have fun with it. No, that's not, and that's not what I was saying at all in the rant. But some people took it like that. It was interesting. It was definitely an interesting rant. There was a lot of different opinions about it. B Money, who's part of Tick, and Brad, he's not buying it. He thinks early access is a sham. He thinks it's a hustle.
It is,
and not just because of PUBG.
Just in general,
saying other games. Yeah.
You basically feel like he's beta. Like people feel like they're beta testing for free.
Yeah, I said that was my whole big shtick about it. I thought that they were getting free labor, and I said I was against it. And yeah, I'm a hypocrite. Huh? Shallow.
Hey, let me ask you guys something real quick, and this is why I voice my opinion, my concerns about it. I'm always pro consumer. I always think like, you know what, like our hobby is not expensive.
Right.
I don't put my emotions into this. I put my money into it. Right. So, I want the best product possible because we spend so much money in this hobby. I mean, think about it. How much money we've probably all invested this console generation, right?
Absolutely.
So one of my concerns, and not to single out PUBG, but it's like, if we aren't critical, if we can't be critical, what message are we sending to the game developers?
Right.
What's the incentive? If he sold 22 million copies of this game, right? at $29 already on PC. Do the math. Think about how much money he's made.
Oh, caking. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Just 7 billion.
To me, it's like, why? And someone brought up in the Brap chat. Well, they never ported over to PC, but you made all this money. Coming to Xbox just didn't happen. This isn't a new announcement. Let's put together a team. Let's put together a team in place that can at least get the game. And I understand it's a preview, but at least get it where some of the things are somewhat optimized, like pop in, or you can at least somewhat stabilize the frame rate.
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's anything wrong saying that, or having that expectation. Even I
want to jump in real quick, Brad, because that's what we were talking about, and what we talked about the segment you missed was that under no circumstance we definitely agree with you. Like this thing, in our opinion, Microsoft felt that they had to get this game out. You know what I mean? The way it's being marketed, the way it's being advertised, you know what I mean? They made a commitment that yes, it was coming out, but I think the shield that they're using is game preview, right? So this way they try to say like, well, we told you it was game preview, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we've seen how unoptimized this thing is, right? It is really soupy. It's really, shooting the controls and all that stuff. And I think the way they're looking at it is get it out on Xbox, as far as Microsoft is, get it out on Xbox at all costs. We'll deal with the backlash later, right? As long as it's out, get those sales in. And we've seen what the sales have done. I mean, obviously in 48 hours, $1 million is nothing to mean that. So it's just like, now that they've got it out there, I think they're willing to take the negative backlash just for what that title can do. I'm not saying it. I'm just trying to put you in the mindset of why I think things are the way they are right now.
No, I agree with that. I mean, and that was kind of like my point too. I think I was kind of surprised how like some people thought I was like shitting on Microsoft. I'm like, nah, I'm not shitting on them. Like I think them putting it out and releasing it on retail is genius. You cash in, make that money.
Cashing in.
Yeah.
Financial, man. This is all a big thing. But like I do agree with your main point, which is like you said, we can still be allowed to be critical of it, And also I want to defend Addict and King. The flip side too is if people are so disgusted with it,
return it.
You can refund it. You can refund it. You can,
but you can't refund the free one that you get when you buy a Microsoft One X. That Microsoft decided, let's give it to free to those people for the holiday season that have the new Xbox One X system. They didn't have to do that.
Shout out to Damien D in the chat. He's been going there, and he's like, this is why he doesn't like accessing game preview titles, because when you buy it, it's no guarantee that the game will ever be finished.
That is true. So don't purchase it.
and actually, I think the screen title says, the game's still in preview. Some of the issues may be fixed. It says May.
It has 3 of those disclaimers, before you actually get into the game. Shout out to everybody that didn't purchase it. Have a good time.
To be fair though, I don't think that's a worry with PUBG. I think with PUBG, it's in their best interest to finish this game, and whatever state that is, we will see a finished product with PUBG.
Absolutely.
No, I might cash out if I was.
I think this is going to be the finished product, just a little bit more high def.
I just want everybody that's talking crap. Don't be a hypocrite with it. Don't have it in your back pocket.
Yeah. December's NPD, and if we see PUBG up there,
you know what they should do? They should have your gamer tag linked to it. So I don't want to hear your Twitter handle. So when I look at your Twitter handle, you be like, well, the game run like crap. It is but you got it though, and you didn't return it. You didn't return it.
They're in the top 50 and you're on the friends list.
Yeah, right. They getting mad chicken dinners and taking pictures. No chicken dinner for you. You shouldn't get a chicken dinner.
No, it reminds me of Destiny 1 where the people were like, "Oh my god, this is a piece of trash," and they look at their hours, and they'd have like more hours, just as much hours. But on that note, we're gonna move on. We did with NPD and PUBG. So, Lord King. A lot of Curse of Osiris news. You want to talk about anything you want to talk about that caught you, right?
Almost guaranteed me and him are going at it in this stuff.
Why would we go at it?
Because about the Bungie life right now.
No, yo, listen, Addict. As much flack as I give you, you've put in enough hours inside Destiny, 2 and Destiny, to have your
Speaking of
opinion.
Bungie,
And
we need to finish that raid.
yeah, I finished it, and I value your opinion. Shout out to Tag T4. We get it in. Shout out to Channel 5. Shout out to Xbot. I was on the next podcast last night. I had a great time over there. Shout out to Xbot 448. I mean, he rolled out the red carpet. It was me and the saltiest gamer was there. Shout out to Salty, man. We had such a good time there. Love having a conversation with this dude. He's a great gamer. I want him over here with Xbox. Remember, I told you I want you over here playing with me on Destiny 2. Somebody gift him that game, the DLC, so we can get it in. I tell you, I kill a character for you.
Destiny.
I won't.
Yeah, well, Attic won't, but Attic will be there helping us run through the dogs. Bet that.
See, I have a hunter I haven't started on. I don't have to kill a character. I have someone.
See, he got one on deck for you. The Curse of Osiris DLC is everything that I hoped it to be. The Masterworks and the stuff that they released on Tuesday, and they fixed everything as far as they can right now. Anybody that's having such a hard time with it, I understand your frustrations. I share the same frustrations, but this is the only developer, and correct me if I'm wrong, you cry on Friday, Tuesday updates, there's a hot fix for your stuff that you cried about in there, and some other stuff that you didn't even know what was going on that was affecting somebody else in the community. They work around the clock trying to fix things. I have to attribute it to Activision, with Activision's corporate hand pushing Bungie in directions that I don't think they really want to go in. When it was with Microsoft, none of these practices and things was happening. So you really have to look at who's the parent company and what is the parent company's track record and what they're doing to the developer. If you get in bed with the devil, don't be mad when you sin. So I've noticed that this has been going on, and I think Bungie truly regrets getting in bed with the bag of dough. I really do.
Activision. I hear you saying. This is
You lay down with dogs, you come up with fleas, and this is what's going on. And everybody put on your flea collars because it's a game that you really want to play.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on this week. Obviously, Bungie dropped this week at Bungie Update. We talked about update 1.1.1, and they are Masterworks. There's also the Curse of Osiris web
Oh, yes.
comic that has dropped. I know you want to talk about that as a fans of Osiris and stuff like that, but I just want to get into two things. One, about Masterworks. I actually started touching Destiny 2 back this week because this was the update actually I was looking forward to. This was the update. I wanted to see Masterworks. These are the type of grind things that Destiny 1 players loved. When you had that weapon, you got to re-roll it. And it's in a simplistic form right now. Like pretty much when you get any legendary can become a Masterwork. So pretty much, you can get a Better Devils or whatever. And my first one was actually a Better Devils, and it had like a plus magazine stat, so it can hold more in the chamber. But to me, what's underrated about it is the fact that in PvE, it can generate orbs not only for your teammate, but for yourself. So that to me changed the game, because one of the major complaints about Destiny right now is that in PvE, you don't feel as powerful. You don't get your super as much. This is the first attribute that normally when you do your super, you create orbs for your teammates. But with these masterwork weapons, you're generating orbs not only for your teammates, but you can use them for yourself. For solo players, I can play solo content, get multi-kills with my Better Devils, and then boom, generating orbs, boom, got my super again. And it just kind of made it fun again. Like, I think that's one thing that was lost. They were so worried about casualizing Destiny and, balancing things from an esport perspective. They lost track of what made Destiny fun. Right? Getting your super, feeling like this powerful guardian. And I think Masterworks is the right track. And I want to see more of it. I know they're going to keep going on with that. Now, on the flip side, they also announced the the Destiny Fall of Osiris comic, which I know Lord King is hype about. He's a big comic book guy. We get to learn.
Oh, man. I'm so happy.
My man, and the dawning is coming. Now, my only negative with it, I think the timing is a little wrong. This is not the time I feel that they should be announcing comic books outside of the game when people feel that that should have been in the game. As far as story, it almost feels like Grimoire Part 2. But don't get me wrong, it's fun. I'm a cow. Go ahead, looking. I know you want to jump in. Go ahead, looking. Get it.
I think they're reaching out across the boards. Like, you know, like Star Wars has comic books, and those comic books is really nice. I think it's a different medium for us to expand our entertainment buck. If you want to consume the product in any form, now you're able, you know, to take a webisode someplace and, you know, sit down and read it. You don't have to, you know, have a controller in your hand. I think it expands on the lore, and it makes it more accessible for anybody that's into comic books. And maybe you're into that comic book and you say, oh man, this is a game, and get into the game that way. It's another gateway in.
Absolutely. And I feel you on that. Don't get me wrong. I think the gesture is cool. All I'm saying is, can I get a kiosk in the tower where I can sit and where I could do it in the game? That's all I'm saying. Game no more. We should have learned this. What a great story. But yo, turn to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and on. I don't want to turn to Revelation chapter 5 in the Grimoire. I want to see it in the game or give me some cinematic.
Especially not about some content you just dropped. Like if you just dropped content on Skyrim, don't give me side stuff, because all you're telling me is that you didn't have time to put that in the game. That's what you're.
Or they took it out to nickel you.
You know what's most egregious about the like you said, they just announced it when the DLC came out, and then they got the lead story team guy on the comic. Like, come on, y'all. What's going on?
That sounds like Activision.
Yes, that's very Activision. Shout out to Anchorman saying that we actually calling it must be the season finale because we actually giving Activision a whole bunch of crap, admitting that they're scummy. Lord Brad and Lord, first off, Brad, what do you feel about these announcements? Have you even been touching Destiny 2 at all?
You know what? Dead? I haven't got back on the Destiny since I finished the Osiris DLC. Mm-hmm. But I do like the that you can generate orbs for yourself, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, like I always thought it was weird, like you could generate orbs for everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do it for yourself. Like, doesn't make any sense. Like, why couldn't you do that? So, the comic book thing's interesting. Like, why would you have the lead writer work on a comic book when you should be working on, you know, storyline or new content for the game?
Yes.
Like, I don't like, is he the only guy? You guys like, or, you know, you guys are backed by Activision. I mean, is he the only guy that can do this?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like,
I just don't. I don't get it. I just, you know,
I'm not
in-game issues, and
it's just the timing. I just like, this was not the time.
No, yeah, the timing's a little off, I think, but you know, but I think it's cool that they're offering, you know, other avenues, ways to, you know, experience the Destiny world. I do enjoy that. I think, personally, I probably won't get the comic book.
I think it's also
cool.
also a web series, so you don't have to purchase it. You can actually, it's a free web series comic as well. They offering that different medium to view it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I think it's always
gotcha. I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I was one of the few that actually didn't mind the Grimoire cards. I like that because it gave you a lot of insight into the game. I know people like didn't like the Grimoire.
I hated it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Lord Addict. We know you've been away from Destiny. But as I look at the most games played, guess who shot from number 20 to number 6? Destiny 2 on the comeback trail. Lord Addict, will any of this get you to play Masterworks? None of this stuff interest you, or where are you at right now? We're still on strike? Are we on Destiny 2 strike? What are we doing, Lord Addict?
I played the 5th.
What do you need to see for them, or is it's just too little, too late at this point?
Nah, that raid lair thing did him dirty.
What happened? We got to finish the boss, but I thought he liked the raid lair. I thought
he was having a good time with me.
Yeah, what
He
happened?
lied to me. I thought we was on a good
Let's
day.
have a Destiny. Come on, we got to sit down. We have a therapy session with Lord Addict and Destiny. Where we get to talking, we got to get the relationship back.
We had popcorn.
We have a couple.
We had cupcakes.
Right, Destiny and Lord Addict.
Pizza, Netflix.
Gotta give me quality raids, and I say, here's the key to the basement.
And also, you didn't like at all, like the raid at all.
I love the raid, but it's still in the Leviathan.
So until you get out of the Leviathan, then you
apparently that ain't gonna happen for probably a year.
So this is not enough for you to be running consistently.
Oh, and whatever they do for this next, like, let's be real here. Like, the raid was cool.
Yeah.
It was short as hell. It was fun, but we had like how many? I'd say we got to the end boss in like an hour and a half. How many
we got
times
there pretty fast. Yeah, we got there pretty fast.
How many times did we die, Lord Cognito?
Not much. And to your defense,
not much, yeah.
The light level didn't even matter because remember I jumped in.
What light level was on Lord Cognito?
You
It was like 303 or something.
Oh, like yeah, you
wasn't even back to the old light level. So you mean me?
Right.
Then I can do the expansion. And how many times was I dying, Lord Cognito?
Not at all. You were doing your thing as always.
I must say that I was covering your 6.
Yeah, the Lord King had his 6, definitely. And
maybe it's not like for everybody. You know, I do put myself as above average Destiny player, but like still, like back in the old day when you did a new raid, it don't matter how good you were. Sometimes you legitly had to put a hold on the raid and go level up.
Yeah. And I missed that, and I'm so glad I missed that feeling that look, your light level's not high enough to do the raid. Like we shouldn't be in a shout out to Lord Delafo. It's not about the amount of light, it's how you use it.
Yo, let me tell you something. True. If you try to play Prestige with that 303, you're gonna get bodied out in these streets.
Really? So we got to do Prestige eventually, but I think I'm gonna wait because I think the January update.
They got to show me what's. Why would I do Prestige to get something that flows?
Right.
No. They fixed that part.
No, they fixed it now, but they actually have a bigger update in January where they're giving specific prestige awards, the stuff that Lord Addict's complaining about.
Is it weapons and armor? Like
yes.
They said that for a fact. They said they're giving activities to make hardcore players feel that the prestige activities are actually worthwhile, and they will have the rewards that will match that. So you might want to wait for that January update after the dawning and stuff like that.
I look forward to raids, and I know when this next raid comes out, it's about Rasputin. All I know is what's going to happen is they're
going back to Leviathan. Coming to see.
Into the garage this time.
But this time you're going to get the stuff you want.
Yeah, like it would have been different if you went through a little bit of the raid and you fought Cabal and then you fought Vex the rest of the raid. But that's not how it was. Up until the last point of that raid, you fought nothing but Cabal.
Right, and then at the end, one Vex. But I feel what you're saying. I definitely hear what you go. Lord Saul, real quick. Oh, I'm sorry.
About Vex.
What'd you say about Vex?
Why is this raid even in an expansion about Vex? Like, why didn't they just they could have just unlocked that for the Leviathan at that point?
Well, according to the lore, when you jump in, Callus basically is saying that he had this problem when the Leviathan swallowed Nessus or whatever the planet that Vex world is. He could not get rid of this being that was inside. So you're doing him a favor. Again, it's another one of these prove your worth kind of things.
But when he talks, like he's still being sarcastic. This dude ain't worried about no Vex. This dude wants to mess with you. It's less about the Vex and more about you.
It's almost like the trials of Callus.
And I like the fact that they have these raids that have like a story. Like eventually we're gonna fight Callus, and it better be epic because they made me be on this damn Leviathan for a year.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they end it. That's a good point. I'm curious to see how they end it because once we get to the third raid layer, do we meet the real Callus? Like, what happens? We know.
I want Callus to be the size of a skyscraper for all this bullshit going on.
Lord Saul, let's wrap up Bungie weekly update. What do you feel about Masterworks and
I gotta say, man, like Destiny hardcore, man. Like, you guys are off the hook, man. God bless your souls for real. Because it's just like, you know what it is? It's like I get it that Bungie has to be on their game and constantly updating because of how rabid you guys are and how much you play the game, how constantly you're playing the game.
No,
but the game
I'm not playing the game, so that
4 months old yet. The game's 4 months old. Like it'll get there. It'll get there. Like I just don't think any people walking away from it being pissed off. I don't think it makes any sense because it's gonna get there.
I feel.
And like Cognito said, like the Masterwork stuff. This is all stuff that kind of appeals to me because I'm a big proponent of RPG elements in action games. Like I love it. Love what they've done in Assassin's Creed. All the stuff like they did in Neo with all like the crafting and like imbuing weapons, infusing weapons with other weapons. So this Masterwork stuff is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I haven't got a chance to play it because Assassin's Creed took over my life, but
absolutely,
this is the stuff that I love. And I'm looking forward to playing Masterworks and seeing, having my weapons feel like they're individual to me in a certain way.
That's what I love.
And I'm hoping it happens going forward with armor. Like I don't know if this was the case in Destiny 1 that they did have this stuff with armor, but I want the armor to feel more distinct also.
Actually, they just mentioned that too because someone tweeted one of the devs at Bungie and they saying they're loving the Masterwork system, that this is the right track, and will it come to armor? And they said they are definitely looking at it. So again, this is something, I think these are baby steps in the right direction. I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm not making any excuses for it, but I just like, and I want to give Lord King credit because as much as we rag on Bungie, we rag on Activision, they are one of the few devs that are more proactive with changing things pretty quickly. And I think they don't get enough credit in that respect. So yes, they came out the gate, kind of rough, a lot of microtransaction heavy stuff. And I like that they got exposed. They got pulled out on the carpet on it. And now, to me, the way I look at it, this is like we win as gamers. When a company is in this mea culpa phase, you gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love it. You gotta welcome it. Yes, do what I tell you to do. I press this button. And they are forced. And look at it. As slowly, I have to admit, I'm looking at most games played on Xbox Live right now. When we had this same discussion, maybe 2-3 weeks, or was it 2 weeks ago? Destiny wasn't even in the top 15. Right now, sitting at number 6, you got Call of Duty, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six, 2K, and Destiny 2 right back in the mix. So I think that's a good sign. You know what I'm saying? Again, it may never get to what Loyatic wants, and I feel bad because they're all going to be hardcore like him that are just burnt. Like, I'm not coming back. I don't like what y'all did. But at the same time, I think these are the baby steps in the right direction. And as far as PvP, I like what they're doing there, and I want to see more things for PvP. That was also something I used to go. Lord Attic, you want to say something before I move on?
I just want to state that Lord Cognito, that's like running the mile run. Congratulations, number 6. Like, are you serious? Like,
Destiny 2 to not be in 20 to be at number 6. Standing ovation.
It's like wanting your 4-year-old to know calculus. Give him some time.
No, we got one last quick topic. I just want to run through this real quick. We know that the Xbox Party Chat system is coming to Android. It's already out on Android and iOS. I was the first to test it. Shout out to Mike Ibarra for retweeting the Iron Lords and giving us that love. Shout out to your young Chris, Lord King in the building as my beta testers. Test this journey. I was on the road in the whip. Had the Bluetooth going, had the phone going. I said, you know what?
Nice.
Test it out. So I had I saw Lord King on. I saw Lord Young Chris in there playing some Destiny. Party chat was open. So I jumped in and it said connected. And I'm like, mic check 1 2. Can y'all hear me?
It was hilarious.
And they're like, yeah, we hear you normal. I'm like, really? And it was just really, really cool. So I wanted to kind of bring this to the Lord today as far as the Xbox Party Chat app and just how do we feel about that? Obviously, Microsoft in there, they want to get this thing going. And then on the flip side, and a funny level, I kind of wanted to talk about this in comparison to our good friends, Grandpa Nintendo.
I wanted to say something about that. Nintendo, hit Microsoft up, please. Like, stop with this nonsense. Like, if you don't have the talent in your company to do this software engineering efficiently, why don't you contact one of the best software companies in the world? And that's where I'm ending that with.
Facts. So what do we feel about Lord King? How did you feel when hit you up from the phone from the whip?
I felt that there was another aha moment that Microsoft has always pushed our genre forward. They have been a proponent of pushing us into the future and having that vision where others lack of vision, and their narrow-mindedness keeps them stagnated in the bushes. And until it's safe for them to move forward, that's when they come out. I look at the other companies as campers, and Microsoft's running gunners.
Well, I will say this to your point, Lord King. I mean, we have evidence. Microsoft was the first to put a hard drive in the system.
Yes.
Ethernet in the box, Connect. As much as people hated it, it was revolutionary for its time. Digital sales. I mean, as far as digital gaming, obviously
the controller, the displacement of the analogs was huge.
These are valid points. I'm not trying to get fanboy. I think it's just one of those things that sometimes Microsoft doesn't get the credit it deserves for pushing things forward. I think sometimes maybe not as a mistake, but sometimes they're just almost too ahead sometimes. And then
I'm gonna tell you one more thing. That Game Pass, it's more stuff than you really realize that they're pushing it forward. Where Sony tells you, you can use our streaming system, Play Now, and pay for the stuff that you have already. Where Microsoft takes the bold step to reverse engineer every last game for you to play for free.
Absolutely. I mean, shout out to the backward compatibility team, Bill Stillwell and our guys.
I do want to
revolutionary things. I mean, definitely, we cannot understate that. Get enough credit. Lord Attic, you can say something. I'm sorry.
I do want to state something that I just saw pop up on Twitter. They're selling the Xbox One S 1 terabyte console, Minecraft edition, with the controller, with the free game for $300 right now.
Wow, didn't realize that. Lord Brappen and Lord Sov, I want to get you guys feeling on this Xbox Party chat. Also, Microsoft innovation. What do we feel about that? Or do they don't feel the innovation?
We've I say we, but a lot of the guys that I was I don't know if a lot of you know, but I was a beta tester for Xbox Live. Like
my man, I was there with you, baby. I had that headset.
Yeah, like, the headset. The headset that would break a lot, and
cheap as hell.
Yeah. I had the T-shirt. I still have the T-shirt. Yeah. I remember playing Revolt for hours upon hours on Xbox Live, but this is something I think a lot of us have wanted for a long time, since we've had cell phones, the ability to connect with our friends on these devices, these smartphones, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to. The one thing that Microsoft does very well is they tend to know where the puck's going. And as they should. I mean, they're a technology company, so I think that they take a lot of the experiences they have as a software technology company, they apply that to Xbox, and I think they do a really good job at creating different ways for players to keep engaged and in contact with one another. Xbox Live and voice chat is an example of that. I mean, I remember when they got roasted for putting an Ethernet port in the OG Xbox. But they were ahead of the game in that regard. They knew where technology was going, and they knew that putting the Ethernet port would allow them to do things that other consoles wouldn't be able to do, specifically Xbox Live. And I think just another notch in their belt. And I think you guys are right. I don't think they get enough credit for kind of pushing the envelope forward in terms of how we interact with each other, how we consume games. Game Pass is Game Pass is, by the way, a glimpse of the future of gaming.
Yes.
And I think Microsoft gives you glimpses.
Yes.
And I'm telling you guys, I get a lot of shit for this, but don't be surprised to see Xbox as an app one day.
Yeah, no, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, and it mimicked more of a Microsoft moving more kind of like a Steam-like service, and I think they're kind of laying the foundation for that. And look, we're as consumers, as techies. I think we all are probably techies here. We are all connected to the internet these days. We all consume different forms of entertainment through TVs, through our smartphones. I've thought for the longest time since Microsoft's gotten in the game, this is where this thing's going to eventually go. So, my 2 cents.
Absolutely. Lord Saab, what do you feel? Xbox Party Chat app and just Microsoft innovation in general.
I mean, I agree with the Lords. Yeah, they've never really gotten the credit for the innovations that they brought to the industry. Is always some sort of issue or whatnot, or what they did with the Xbox One at the start of the generation, where they kind of jumped too far ahead and tried to force the issue rather than, like what Brap said, like give you indications of where they think it's going and throw feelers out there and sort of give you little bits and pieces of where they think things are going. They got a lot of crap for the hard drive. They got a lot of crap for the Ethernet port, and a lot of those innovations are what we consider norms in this day, in gaming today. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me if they continue to push the envelope in that regard. In terms of the chat app, I think it goes towards their mantra of sort of unifying. They've been really good about the Xbox community and trying to find ways for the Xbox community to be unified, with creating the Xbox app on PC to have people join in that way, and now on your phones to be able to allow you to be in a party chat with your friends when you're not near an Xbox is fantastic. And to me, my hope is that it's an indicator of where they're going in terms of their hardware. Like Brap said, I would not be surprised to see an Xbox app, because I think they're going towards a services route, but I don't think that means that we're not going to be seeing hardware from them anymore. I just think they don't mind expanding where you play your games, and I don't think it's going to stop them from making hardware. And if you choose to play on their hardware, it's going to be there. But for me, this hopefully opens the door for something portable down the line. Because I'm with the Switch, I've learned that I would love to have my games, my core games, everywhere that I go. Like, I don't like leaving my Xbox behind. I don't like leaving my PlayStation behind. And I don't have the time that I used to have to play games. So as much as I could focus on the core games that I'm playing at that moment, I would love to be able to do that. The Switch allows me that because that is their core system.
Absolutely.
With these iterative consoles, my hope is that at some point their base console, the low tier console, becomes something portable. That and this is for Xbox and for PlayStation. I hope something like this happens where they realize the potential of having one of their core consoles in their core family of consoles be something that people could take around with them. Gotcha. And never exit the ecosystem, because that's what you want. You always want people engaged. So I hope this is something that's indicating that that's where they're going.
That's a great point.
We gotta let Lord, the birthday boy. He's gotta go. I know he's got his Star Wars birthday to get to. So Lord Addict, you want to get a little quick shout out before you roll out, or you gotta hit the road?
Yeah, I gotta get going. I'm not going to the movie right now, but I have to go get some stuff done before that. But thanks for everyone that come by. I definitely got to get going right now. But
one day, Lord.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Baby, we will see you in the new year on the ILP back again. Enjoy, man. No doubt. But yeah, just wrapping up. Like I said, I mean, it was just one of them things. I totally agree with Brap and Lord King. Even Lord King made a point with HDMI pass through. I was just thinking about achievements, y'all.
That's the minor thing. Achievements.
Yeah.
Change the game.
What about the gamer tag? I mean, it's something as simplistic as the gamer tag. I mean, that was huge. I remember.
Brap, what about changing your gamer tag?
Oh.
Shot fired.
I mean, you know what though? That's an area where Sony gets a lot of praise, but in terms of services and features, they are lacking big time.
Slow.
There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to change our PSN IDs I mean, it's 2017.
I mean, listen, when the hackers jump in, the hackers they want you to be exactly where they want you to be, so the hackers can know that's the guy I hacked last time. So you can't change your name.
Yeah, a little less to be desired as well. But shout out to Sony as far as the last PSX. They did make a point that they said by the next PSX they hope not to have this conversation. I believe it was Greg Miller from Kind of Funny. He had asked him. He was like, so are we ever going to be able to change our gamer tags? And he was like, yeah, by next year.
What is this, like 10 years later?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And they need to do something with PSN now. It's not a good value service for consumers.
Well, it's the same one that you have with the PlayStation 2, isn't it? Hello.
No, pretty much the way I look at it is they've graduated online feature-wise to stuff that 360 had. As far as party chat system, because remember, I believe with the PS3 you couldn't do conventional party chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like it had to be
good, yeah.
Yeah, so they've definitely improved, but again, we have to give credit to what credit deserved as far as Microsoft and making those strides and advancements. But I definitely enjoyed this party chat app thing. I thought it was cool. You know what I'm saying? So,
I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where they go with this and the platform team.
Keeps engagement up. That's key, engagement.
Keep you locked in.
Yeah, and we got to remember something. Like we're we talk about being old school gamers. Starting 30 years ago, our expectations in terms of how we experience content is so much different than the expectations of our children or people that are younger kids that are growing up now, because they have an expectation. Because they have access to so much different technology now and being connected on the fly and just having high levels of engagement. We didn't grow up like that. You wanted to talk to someone, you picked up the phone, or, there was no cell phones, we didn't have any of that. So, they're used to experiencing stuff on the fly. And so all these are like things that, Microsoft and I think the genius with Nintendo and the Switch is Nintendo can keep you in their ecosystem anywhere you go as long as you have an internet connection. And that is brilliant. I don't think people think about that enough, but that is brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if only you could talk to your friends.
I know. I was just like,
yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, if you could talk to your friends. But I mean, but you could buy content. I mean, I think that's the that's the big part there. Yeah.
I agree with Lord Addict though. I mean, you're totally correct, Brad. It's one of those things that I just wish that they would just either, I don't know if they could just take a page from Microsoft or hire their engineer. I mean, they have this great relationship with Minecraft, right? So it's like, come on, guys. Like, you haven't charged for this service yet, right? As far as Switch, we've already seen in a beta what Microsoft can do, and they've ran laps around the Switch app. In a beta. So it's just like, come on, guys, let's just get this together, outsource if you got, do what you got to do to just make that online infrastructure, have a friend list, be able to send messages, have a party chat. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Switch. That's all I'm saying.
And why does your ID number have to be longer than your social security number?
It got to the point I gave in and put my social security out on my Twitter, y'all. I gave in.
Not me. I haven't even jumped on that Switch in a minute, but it is what it is.
No doubt. So we're going to wrap this thing up, the 2017 holiday edition. We got a poll before we do our outro, so we're going to get into that last poll. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be with the release of PUBG on Xbox Game Preview. Should consumers in general expect higher quality from paid early access games? The question answers are A, yes, paid game preview does not excuse terrible quality. B, no, a preview disclaimer is given before you buy any game preview game. And C, I don't care, PUBG 1,048 hours, baby.
I like that.
Gotta give the shallow guys their shine.
Thank you.
That is the question. Those are the choices. Please rock the vote. Hit the ILP Twitter polls when it goes up. Lord Brap, thank you for coming in our 11th hour for our holiday end of the year.
Yeah, I just want to say, I was listening to you guys. I realized it was the end of the year, and I was like, yeah, I gotta jump in. I always, seriously, you guys are probably my favorite podcast, and I run a podcast, You know, so
much appreciated, man.
you guys are great. I really appreciate it and really enjoy what you guys are doing. So just keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. Thank really
you, man.
appreciate what we do. We really appreciate you. We love rap, love what you guys are doing, and obviously the new thing coming up with the Loot Crate Radio, all that good stuff. So get your plugs in, man. Where can we find you? What's cooking?
Yeah, you could find me on Twitter at @brap_podcast. And you can find me on YouTube at Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We go live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eric Jackson, B Money, and Mr. Negative, and we just talk video games. We have guests on from the community and from the industry. We've had David Jaffe on the podcast. We've had Ryan McCaffrey. We had the folks on from Supergiant Games. So it's a good time. And also check out Loot Chest Radio. I'm a co-host there with Saltiest Gaming.
Salty, Lord Salt, Fonzarelli.
Shout out to Lord Salty.
Yep, and All Day Digital. So
shout out All Day Digital, good peoples.
Yeah. No, they're a bunch of good dudes, and it's cool because we've all been gaming for a long time, and it's a pre-recorded show. It's got Jay puts a lot of hard work into it, so it has a lot of production value to it, which is really cool. We've got a lot of comments of people saying it sounds like a radio show. So
nice. No, it's really cool. We just hit the Twitter up. We can find because you guys already is pre-recorded, right? So where can we get that content, those episodes? Where can we get it?
So you can get them on iTunes. You can also get it on YouTube as well. And if you want to give us a follow on Twitter, it's at Loot Chest Radio.
Nice.
You can find us there. So but you'll definitely find us on iTunes and YouTube. So
no doubt, Lord Brap coming through in the season finale. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Shout out to Michael Luke in the chat. Sorry, bro. We finished up the Destiny 1 chat. You came late. So just hit that rewind when the episode goes off. We talked a lot about the Masterworks and all that good stuff for you. We got you covered, Michael. But we're going to close this thing up. Obviously, the birthday boy is going to do his birthday thing. You know what I'm saying? But we got the rest of the laws. We're going to do these outros. Lord Saab, where can the people find you?
Yeah, the fine people can find me on Xbox and PSN at VX Sovereign, and on Twitter, Lord Saab ILP. Just a quick message to all our guests, first and foremost, guys, Lord Brap, everybody who's been a guest on the show this year. Thank you so much for coming out and showing love and supporting. You guys, you guys are amazing. It's at the beginning of this, I would have never thought I consider myself part of this community, but this is an amazing community of people. And, we truly appreciate all the love you guys show us every time you come on here. So it's fantastic. And then to everybody who listens to our show, people in the chat, you guys are amazing. I just want to wish everyone a happy, safe, and blessed holiday season, whatever you celebrate. Just guys, keep gaming. Keep showing the love, man. We really appreciate it. The show has gotten to the point it's gotten because of you guys and the love and the support you guys show every single week, man. So we truly appreciate it. So bless you guys and see you guys in January.
Absolutely. Much appreciated. Good words. Wise word from Lord Saab, Lord King, the premium experience access gamer. 2017's in the books for us. Where can the fine people find you?
Apparently, you can find me on other people's podcasts. I am so humbled at the reach outs to go to other people's shows and to be in that environment. I didn't know that there was like two sides of the community. Is this weirdo side where the fighting and they have to manufacture beef and always be controversial and say F-bombs here and there, and the podcast that I've been on, my children can listen to, and I think that goes a longer way. We have intelligent conversations. Shout out to Brap. Shout out to Potentially Perfect. Shout out to Multiverse. Shout out to the next podcast. I'm talking about I've met so many YouTubers and I am humbled and just to be in your presence and have great conversations. You guys are amazing. I thank you from the bottom of my heart and out to every person that tuned in, every subscriber, if you're a hater, if you're a lover, I love you equally. Trust me. I'm sorry that my PC isn't up today, that I couldn't, interact with you in the chat. That's what happened. That's why I was absent from the chat today. But trust me, I do appreciate every last drop of you guys. Listen, I was trying to do the shows all the way through the holiday season. Trust me. Um, Lord Cognito was like, "You're gonna take a break. You're gonna sit down."
Hey, Lord King, Brap will be on to the holiday season. So if you want to,
I'll be on your show. Holla at me. I'll be on that show, sir.
all right.
Got the big rap, put it out there.
Yeah. Slide in my DMs and hit me with that link, brother.
Yep.
Oh, we appreciate you, yeah, man, I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. Obviously, all the guests we had this year. Lord Brad is one of them. Has been huge. He's probably like he's up there. I think with Anchorman and who else was up there top of the like most appearances on ILP this year.
Yeah.
Up there, so Brad, we know he's fam. But yeah, shout out to everybody. This is our rookie year. Shout out to the Tick Network, man. Holding us down. Double XP, the multiverse. Tick podcast that went on last night. You know what I mean? That's the fam. Everybody really appreciate the support and all the execs, everyone that shows tremendous love to ILP. Again, this is our rookie year, and it's just been really overwhelming just to see how much the appreciation has been there for us, and that you guys enjoying what we're doing. We're gonna try to continue to do more, better, and bigger stuff in 2017 and 2018. So yeah, the new time, just to put that out there, we're gonna go back to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Thank God.
Keep a little later.
Thank God.
Saturday night. The Lord's Day will be pushed. It will be extended to one. So on January 7th, y'all, that's when we're coming back. That'll be the first show. So again, happy holidays. You know what I'm saying? Make sure. Oh, shout out to Anchorman. Yes, Gaming and Community Awards tomorrow on the Multiverse. Please check that out. We got some good podcasts in there. Iron Law Podcast definitely got nominated. I believe Short Pause Gaming. Those are great guys too. And also my brothers, Four Guys with Quarters, man. I love all those podcasts. So make sure you vote. There's really no losers. We all got nominated. So everyone's recognizing what we're doing and what everyone else is doing. So check that out. Multiverse is going to be lit. Anchor's going to hold that down. Anchor, make sure you slide like 5 extra votes for ILP because we're the home team.
I purchase bundles, so I'm getting there. Buy a bundle of that.
Watch Anchor for us to win this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Vote Loot Crates will be on sale after the podcast.
Yes, with Amiibos bonus packages. Get that King Amiibo package.
We would not do such thing, but yeah, it's gonna be really fun. And like I said, we just really, really appreciate it. And again, happy holidays, man. Merry Christmas and New Year's. That's going down. Everyone get nice and drunk and fed and enjoy time with their family and loved ones and all that good stuff, man. And we are gonna end this thing. So if anybody got anything else to say, we're gonna wrap it up. Guess not. See you guys 18. Peace.